the nation's finest collegiate players from 1975 against the NFL champion Pittsburgh Steelers. And tonight, you watch for the All-Stars this young man, Archie Griffin. An incredible career at Ohio State, over 5,000 yards rushing. He put together a string of 39 consecutive games in which he gained 100 yards or more. He won 2 Heisman Awards. He'll team with Joe Washington. Joe Washington, a very gifted running back. Reminds you of Gale Sayers, the way he can cut. And the big man for the All-Stars, Chuck Muncie, who led the University of California to their finest season in 24 years. Tony Galbraith of Missouri is another 230-pounder who makes his yardage the hard way. But can they move against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the likes of L.C. Greenwood, number 68, and number 75, Me Joe Green? The secondary is always helping the linebackers. Number 59 is Jack Ham. He hits, and all the Steelers are capable of forcing the air and turning the ball over to the offense, where we'll see plays like this. This in the Super Bowl. Terry Bradshaw to number 88, Lynn Swann. On the day, Swann caught 4 passes, 161 yards. He was the MVP. But this man is the heart and soul of the Steeler offense. He gets the yardage when it's needed. Franco Harris. Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. It's the College All-Star football game. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Toyota. You ask for style, economy, and dependability, you got it. Toyota. By Light Beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Mutual of New York. Money for the future. We have a late arriving crowd here in Chicago this afternoon. The city was hit with tremendous thunder showers. The field is wet. However, it does appear as if it's going to clear. The field is fine. It's synthetic. We should have a good football game. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford. Obviously not in Montreal, where I just came from. But I am wearing my Olympic blazer, if you will, maybe in a tribute to the hundreds of ABC people who are helping you enjoy the 21st Olympiad. And, of course, they are doing a job that you appreciate, I know, and if you were ever there, you cannot believe the work that goes into it. But we have a good show here tonight, the College All-Stars and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm very fortunate, and I'm working with a man who was a member of this College All-Star team when they first beat the pros back there, I guess, Bud more years than we like to remember. But Bud also coached this team. As a matter of fact, he was one of my coaches when I played here more years ago than I'd like to remember. You know, but we talked to Eric Parsegan, who's really coming back to coaching after a year out, and he honestly feels he can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, I've got to wonder whether that year out has changed his attitude that much, and he's forgotten that coaches are supposed to be pessimists, Frank. But seriously, all of the observers say that this is the best college all-star squad in many, many years. Harris says their attitude has been superb in practice. He said he wanted them to do 4 things, 4 objectives when they began. He wanted them first to get in condition, learn their football, have fun, but most important of all, he wanted them to win. And I think they've got a good shot because they've got fine people. Their quarterback will be number 8, Mike Kruschek. He broke Roger Staubach's record for completions, hit 67% of his passes during his college career. He's the property of the Steelers, too. And this is a great Joe Washington, number 24, small, 5'9", 175. Everyone has watched him. They run out of adjectives. Incredible, astonishing. He's some kind of player. And he's backed up, of course, by the 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, Archie Griffin of Ohio State. When Woody Hayes says, "This boy is the best I've ever seen," you know that he's some kind of player. I believe, Frank, that if the All-Stars can get off to a good start, play the first 20 minutes without mistakes, they've got a real shot to win this one.
You know, a lot of teams have thought that about the Steelers, if they could get off without giving up a break or making a mistake. You don't play 20 minutes without them forcing a break. They have a great defensive line. You've heard a great deal about them. I think that maybe their best defensive player is this man, Jack Lambert, out of Kent State, a second-round draft pick. He backs up that front 4 like no linebacker in football. Terry Bradshaw, coming off his best year ever, 18 touchdown passes last year, 57%. When he wants to go deep, well, you remember the Super Bowl. Lynn Swann, was he incredible? 4 receptions, 161 yards. But when they need it, when they have to have it, they go to this man, Franco Harris, number 32. He gets the yardage when it's absolutely necessary. So we will be getting underway from Soldier Field in Chicago very shortly. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the best of the collegiate All-Americans.
It's not just athletes that get athlete's foot. Innocent men, women, and children can get it too, just by coming in contact with it. And man, does it itch. Well, the first itch you feel, you spray on MP27. MP27 will kill that athlete's foot fungus and help keep it from coming back. Believe me, I've seen a whole lot of scratching going on. MP27 is the end of the itch.
Which way to the beach?
Oh, the bus just left.
Bus?
But the directory says...
Up near the beach. Surprise.
You get enough surprises when you travel. That's why Holiday Inn thinks the best surprise is no surprise. With over 1,700 inns, you can count on Holiday Inn almost anywhere you go. There are special family rates, and you'll be right where you want to be. At every Holiday Inn, the best surprise is no surprise.
Top Flight is the longest golf ball you can play. Last summer, to prove it, Top Flight offered a $250,000 challenge to all the other leading balls, a distance test, with golfers like you hitting drives and 5-irons. The results? No response. None of the other balls accepted the challenge. Top Flight, the longest ball. Prove it to yourself.
The 43rd Annual All-Star Game is about to get underway. Kicking off for the All-Stars, Chris Barr, an incredible kicker from Penn State. We'll be telling you more about him tonight. Deep, a rookie for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tommy Raymond. The ball dropping off to the left, and it goes to Fuchs, Roland Fuchs. Fuchs powers out to the 30-yard line. The Pittsburgh Steelers will have first possession. The defending NFL champions against a fine all-star alignment. Frank Gifford, along with Bud Wilkinson on the sidelines, another gentleman who played in this college all-star game back in 1959, a former teammate of mine, Lee Groscup. At quarterback for the Steelers, their familiar names, number 12, Terry Bradshaw. Rocky Blyer is at one setback, Franco Harris the other, number 32, Harris, 20, Blyer. Wide receivers, 88, Lynn Swan, Frank Lewis, 43, the tight end is number 87, that's Larry Brown. Bradshaw, first and 10. Ball inside the 30. Crossing quickly, it goes out to Franco Harris. Piled up at the line of scrimmage by a hard charge by the defensive unit for the College All-Stars. Up there quickly was number 35, Schaefer Suggs, and Leroy Selman, the great All-American from Oklahoma, sliding along the line of scrimmage.
Leroy is one of those boys who weighs 262 pounds, but Frank, he's reminded me of some of those gymnasts you've been showing us from Montreal. He's that agile, that quick.
He's in there with his Bubba, if you will, Dewey Selman. He's number 91. Keep your eye on them because they'll have their hands full with the veteran Pittsburgh Steeler offensive line. It was a loss of 2. Second down, a long 12. Ball resting at the 25-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bradshaw back. Dumps it off to Harris. A slippery ball in and out of Franco Harris's hands. He had running room. He could have picked up yardage. Ron McCartney was defending there for the All-Stars. That veteran line for the Steelers. Ray Mansfield in his 14th year is the center. Pittsburgh drafted a pair of centers. Mansfield said, you've wasted them. Flack is the left guard, 50. Mullins is 72, the right guard. Gravel, the right tackle, number 71. Kolb, the strongest man, perhaps in pro football, at the left side, tackle number 55. We'll run down the college all-star defensive unit in a moment. Third down, a long 12, as Terry Bradshaw looks the situation over. Firing to his tight end, Larry Brown, complete out to the 48-yard line down. First down for Steelers, hit there by Aaron Kyle from Wyoming.
That's Bradshaw dropping back. You can see the excellent protection he has. Leroy Selman trying to get to him. 3-man rush. Brown crossing the field was wide open as the wide receivers Lewis and Swan had taken the 2 cornermen back.
First down for the Steelers out to their own 48-yard line. Then Swan, 88. Frank Lewis, 43. They're the wide receivers. Lewis, top of your screen. The big man, Harris, gets the call. He gets a big hole, and he moves over midfield down to the 47-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. He's hit by number 56, Larry Gordon. The defensive line of the All-Stars, we saw number 91 and number 93. Those are the brothers Selman. Leroy is 93, Dewey 91. Defensive end on the left side, Troy Archer, number 90. He's from Colorado, the New York Giants, number 1 draft pick. Detroit drafted the right defensive end, John Woodcock, on their 3rd pick. Second down and 4. The ball just over the 40-yard line of the All-Stars. No score. We're just underway. Blyer gets his first chance of the evening, and he's very close to a first down. The 88-year veteran out of Notre Dame. Hit there by middle linebacker, number 77, Ed Simonini, and we're going to be watching him all night. Baltimore's third-round draft pick.
The All-Stars are basically going to play a 4-3-4 defense. That time they jumped into a five-man line, similar to what we see the Miami Dolphins play so often. A 5-3 front. You saw Bradshaw check signals against the defensive alignment.
And we have a timeout for a measurement. The Steelers have sent in both their tight ends. They apparently feel they did not make it. And head coach Chuck Noll has some pretty good eyeballs from the sidelines. They are just a little bit short. Grossman is in there, 84 now with Larry Brown. Frenchy Fuqua has come in. And there's the story of the All-Star game. One of those nines belongs to my colleague, Bud Wilkinson, and has been pretty much an all-professional show since then. The last time the All-Stars could pull it off was in 1963. Ron Vanderkellen led the All-Stars over the Packers.
I think that the Steelers come out a little stronger tonight than they did a year ago. They were very lethargic in the first half last year, but it looks like Chuck Noll's got them ready tonight.
Fuqua is the little wingback you see there on the right side, bottom of your screen. Oh, and getting in there quickly and nailing Rocky Bleier. It was Leroy Selman and Troy Archer, rather, led the attack. The Giants' #1 draft pick, so there will be a little delight as most of the professional scouts, owners, coaches will keep their eye on this game. So Pittsburgh, unable to generate more than a single first down, will be forced to punt. Bobby Walden will drop deep for the Steelers. Going back is Mr. Electricity himself, Joe Washington, from the University of Oklahoma. And can he fly? The #1 draft pick of the San Diego Chargers. He settles in back there at the 5-yard line. Again, we have had tremendous thunderstorms here this afternoon. The field is wet. It's synthetic, however. There he is, Joe Washington. Well, what can I tell you? Over 1,400 yards in punt returns when he was in Oklahoma. Walden very wisely kicks to the sidelines. Washington handles it at the 5. Slithers around. And we told you it was electricity. How he got out of that, I'll never know. Flag is down.
That's one of the things he does so well, Frank. It looks like he's absolutely snowed under, and the people that are 4 or 5 yards away, they let up just a little bit thinking he's tackled. He shakes off and almost breaks loose. Signal flipping against the college All-Stars.
You heard the call, a clipping call. Our referee tonight is Carl Lepore.
Personal foul, clipping, 90 on the All-Stars have a first down.
So clipping nullifies what amounted to almost an unbelievable 4-yard gain. Half the distance to the goal was a penalty. The ball is at the 6-yard line. College All-Stars, Mike Kruchek takes over at quarterback. He, of course, from Boston College. Tony Galbraith is in there. One setback. He carries the ball into the middle of that Steeler defensive line, and that's not a whole lot of fun. Mike Kruchek, Bud, and he had a sensational career at Boston College.
Hit 227 out of 337 passes for 67%. He's had a little trouble with a finger in his hand during practice, but it's healed nicely, and Era says that he's ready to go. He can throw the long ball and the short ball both.
Galbraith got a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Joe Washington, number 24, is in there with Galbraith. This is Washington looking for somewhere to go against Ernie Holmes, 63, Joe Green, 75, L.C. Greenwood, 68, and Dwight White, 78. Familiar names? They should be, because many feel they're the best front 4 in all of football.
We were talking before the game, Frank, about the All-Stars having to go 20 minutes without an error. The worst thing can happen to you on your first possession is get pinned way back there on your own 6-yard line.
3rd down, 7. Ball at the 9-yard line. Washington in motion, gets the draw play, big opening. Beautiful delay draw play with Washington in motion. He kicks out, gets the first down. Jack Lambert, 58, moved over to make the stop. And we told you he is lightning in a bottle. And we have not seen much of him over the past few years because of probation by the NCAA on television. But let's look at it again.
The Steelers thinking pass, had the rush on, linebackers dropping back. Washington on the delayed draw found great opening for the first down.
17-yard line. Washington again. Runs into a lot of Steelers. A whole block of them up there quickly. Number 24, J.T. Thomas to turn it to the inside. Jack Ham was right there waiting. That's what the Steelers do so well. They play pursuit football, and they gang tackle.
Chuck Noll was very concerned about what kind of offense the All-Stars would run. They haven't seen them, of course, and there are so many various coaches on the All-Star staff. Ara Parseghian had his own pattern at Notre Dame. There have been people like Sid Gilman, who's been in football longer than maybe you and I have, and they're using a tremendous variety of sets. They haven't been in the same set twice.
Second down and 10. 17-yard line. Toss goes to Washington. And he jukes Andy Russell, gets a couple of yards before going out of bounds at the 20-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be third down and 8. Jack Lambert, Andy Russell in pursuit, made the stop. We'll watch it from the end zone.
See Boschnagel coming in motion, and there's the quick pitch out. Washington has it. And now watch this man, little juke to the inside, slow down. But there's too much water on that field splashing around. On artificial turf, though, Frank, another 15 or 20 minutes, this field will have relatively good footing.
Archie Griffin, number 45, is checked into the lineup for the All-Stars on a third down and 7. The ball at the 20-yard line. Griffin in for one of the wide receivers. Motioning down now to the right. Oh, and Krujek is in the arms of L.C. Greenwood. And how many NFL quarterbacks can tell you about that experience? L.C. Greenwood.
The All-Stars were concerned about whether they could contain Greenwood. They're going to try to get out around him. They want to know whether he was coming straight up the field or whether he was going to control the inside. That time he came straight up the field, and he had the proper stunt on for the play being run. There he is. He is some kind of football player. 6'6", 250 pounds, and beginning his 9th year of professional football.
Hunting now for the All-Stars. A loss of 10 will be Rick Ingalls. He's dropping into his own end zone. Deep is Theo Bell, a rookie from Arizona, number 83. And Ingalls hustles one away. Bell takes a rookie risk at the 40-yard line, but makes a couple of yards out of it and is out to the 38-yard line. 34-yard punt. So the Pittsburgh Steelers will have good field position. A flag is down on the field, and we'll be returning in a moment.
Hooray! I need a muffler bag! I know! You do it! I'll order it. I'll see you. Hey, let's talk training. Let's talk muffler. Oh, let's talk next week.
Midas built a business for people who can't wait. So you're usually in and out in 30 minutes without an appointment.
You sure work fast. Work fast.
Come to Midas. We're specialists. We have to do a better job.
I was 10 when my father started saving for my college education. Brian, he said, you're going to have it better than me. You just do the studying, and I'll do the saving. He had it all planned. There's only one thing he didn't plan. He didn't plan on dying.
When a man dies, his dreams don't have to die with him. Talk to us about your life insurance needs. Mutual of New York. Money for the future.
No score, Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. The annual College All-Star Game, the 43rd annual College All-Star Game. And Ingalls was forced to punt from his own end zone, a 34-yard punt. There was a penalty against the All-Stars. They broke too early. They had men downfield, illegal men covering. It was declined by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Naturally, they have good field position at the College All-Stars 39-yard line. First and 10, Steelers. Bradshaw at quarterback, Franco Harris, 32, Rocky Bleier, number 20. Those are our setbacks for the Steelers. Bradshaw. What's Lynn Swan, and he finds him at the 25-yard line. First down, and a patented catch by Lynn Swan. He does never drops that ball when it's low. Let's go down now to our colleague Lee Groscup on the sidelines.
Joe Washington Sr., your son had a little problem with his shoes. Tell us what happened.
Well, somehow he left the shoes, about 2 or 3 pair in the dressing room, and when he came back, probably an autograph seeker got them.
But you have a few more.
Oh, yeah, I brought about 8 pair with me, you know, just in case.
He's doing well so far. Giff?
See him play, he can play without shoes. And here comes Rocky Bleier, tremendous hole, and he bursts all the way to the 10. Stopped there by Aaron Kyle in the secondary. Big hole right side. Jerry Mullins over there at right guard. Gordon Gravel opening a big hole on that left side.
Caught him expecting another pass there, Frank, and the rush opened us up for a well-executed trap play. Blyer had all kinds of daylight. Harrow was very concerned about the tackling of his secondary. They're very quick, but they're not very big. Lewis is 170 pounds. Suggs is 196, the biggest, but Clark and Kyle are each about 180.
First down, the ball just at the 10-yard line. Franco Harris looking and pecking along the line of scrimmage, getting inside the 10, a yard and a half. It'll be second down and 9. Leroy Selman, 93. Troy Archer, 90. The two big defensive linemen on the left side in there on the stop. The linebackers for the All-Stars, number 75, Charles Filyaw, Texas Southern, Oakland's number 2 draft pick, is in there now. Ed Simonini is a middle linebacker, number 77. Kevin McLean, Los Angeles' number 1 draft pick, number 51, is also in there. Second down and 9. Steelers with both wide receivers, top of your screen. 88 is Swan, 43 is Frank Lewis. Toss goes to Blyer. And great defensive effort there by number 77, Ed Simonini, the middle linebacker. And Bud Wilkerson, you told me about him. He's quick. He's not all that large, but he really can move.
He's a great player for Texas A&M for 3 years. Henry Ballard said he's the most intense football player I've ever coached. And he's got that great lateral speed, which is what you're looking for. If you're an All-Star fan right now, Frank, you're thinking pass, interception, or fumble, please, so Girella won't put 3 points on the board against us.
Always a game of tactics. Third down and 13. 5 men have moved into the secondary for the All-Stars. Steve Wagner, number 6, is back there. Bradshaw, lots of time going for his tight end, Larry Brown. No chance, covered well by Steve Wagner.
Man-to-man coverage, it was very effective. They ran a crossing pattern, and sometimes on those crossing patterns, you get a kind of a pick-off like you do in basketball, but Wagner got with his man extremely well.
I might point out that coaching the defense for the College All-Stars and head coach Ara Parsegan is Dick Nolan, a former teammate of mine, a disciple of Tom Landry, and a fine defensive coach, formerly of the 49ers. Girella on now. The attempt from the 19-yard line. Something is amiss. The Steelers want timeout. Maybe not enough folks out there in any event. That's right. You get that occasionally in early season. The special teams have a hard time aligning. And that time, Randy Grossman, number 84, was over on the bench when he should have been out with the field goal unit.
You'll hear about that a little bit later, too.
Funny how you hear a lot more when you lose from the head coach than you do when you win. But they really get upset when those special teams get goofed up. But as a former coach, you realize it can really shake up a ball club. It's just sloppiness that permeates through the entire team.
Absolutely, and they're so vitally important in everything they do because each play they're in can be a play that'll break the game for you, and they don't play a lot of time, but you just got to feel they're going to be ready when they're called on.
29-yard attempt, Bobby Walden holding, Roy Girella for the placement. About a half a 9-iron for Girella, and the Pittsburgh Steelers move out in front. They score first, a 29-yard field goal by Roy Girella. Steelers leading the College All-Stars 3-0. We'll return to Soldier Field in a moment.
Well, congratulations. Your car loan's been approved.
Oh, thanks. Now I gotta find a car that'll give me my money's worth.
You asked for it. The new Toyota Corollas, built to give you your money's worth, built to last. 9 out of 10 Toyota cars ever sold in America are still on the road. And don't forget Corolla's high resale value. If you can find a better-built small car than Toyota, buy it. Quality.
You asked for it, you got it, Toyota.
When I played hockey, I really played hockey. They didn't call me Boom Boom for nothing. When I drink beer, I really drink beer. Light beer from Miller. It tastes great. And it's got a third less calories than the regular beer. It's less filling, and I can't get filled up. I've got to move fast. When you play the way I did, you make a lot of enemies.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, who won this game last year 21-14, have scored first. 5:30 remaining in the first quarter. Deep. And how would you like to have these two men on your ball club? Joe Washington, 24, Archie Griffin, 45. They await the kickoff of Roy Gerela. And it'll be Washington from his own 10. Good hustle, special team for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Washington out to the 23-yard line. Theo Bell down there. Theo Bell trying for a wide receiver job with the Pittsburgh Steelers, wearing number 83.
That's how Rocky Bleier made the starting lineup of this Pittsburgh team. He was on the specialty teams. He'd been wounded in Korea, as I think most everybody knows, Frank. But he worked so hard on those specialty teams that he picked up his speed. He was a 5-second sprinter, and he got it down to about 4.7.
First and 10 for the All-Stars. Mike Kruchek is the quarterback from Boston College. Galbraith 30, one setback. Kruchek back and looking now. Being pursued by Joe Green. Flag is down, but if anyone was wondering about Joe Green, you saw him move like a cat towards Kruchek. Again, a flag down. We'll get the preliminary call, and then we'll pick up the official call from our referee.
Well, that's a very tough one.
The indication is holding, and we'll hear it from referee Cal Lepore. Well, we're jockeying around. I'm sure we'll hear from
Number 9, Greg Penrose from San Diego State, now quarterback for the All-Star.
Well, that was a PA announcer. I guess we'll hear it again. The discussion right now is going on with Andy Russell, the team captain who is playing in his last year.
Holding 65 on the offense. It's first down.
Holding against the College All-Stars, number 65, Dennis Lick. Has moved in a quarterback, Craig Penrose of San Diego State, the NCAA passing champion last year. He was the number 4 pick for the Denver Broncos. 10 yards assessed against the All-Stars. 5:13 remaining in the first quarter. Craig Penrose, 6'3", 210 out of San Diego State. 15 touchdown passes there last year. Draw play. Washington out over the 15 to the 17. It'll be second down and 15. Glenn Edwards in there to make the stop for the Steelers. And right now we'll pause 5 seconds and allow our local stations along the line to identify themselves.
You're watching WTAE-TV Channel 4 in Pittsburgh.
You got to feel, Frank, that the field is hurting the All-Star offense. Eric Muskegon hoped that he'd be able to put the pressure on the 2 defensive ends with the inside fake and then swing out around as the quarterback's been trying to do, but it's been too slippery to make the play.
Single man, the motion man is Washington. The ball goes to Galbraith up the middle. The All-Stars trying to avoid giving up the ball with anything fancy deep in their own territory. They move out to the 20-yard line where it'll be third down along 12. Joe Washington on the night, not nearly so impressive as his career rushing mark of nearly 4,000 yards. Again, we're reporting from Soldier Field in Chicago, and of course, for the next several days, right through the Olympics, we'll be back and forth to Montreal for the 21st Olympiad. Joe Washington over the left side, big opening, good block for him. Oh, look at the moves of Joe Washington moving out to the 31. Not enough for a first down, but you saw the excitement that Joe Washington has provided for 4 years for Oklahoma.
You don't think any one man's ever going to get him down, and Donnie Shell that time was able to do it.
Just watch the feet here, bud.
Quick pitch out to him. Look at that inside fake. Look at first the speed that he can put on. He ran right by the corner, man. That was Blount. But Shell made a very fine play.
Not enough for the first down. Rick Ingalls out to punt. Theo Bell, number 83, is dropped deep. Gaines is also back there, number 36. Ingalls It'll be Bell at his own 32. Bell out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Good return, good field position for the Steelers. Tony Galbraith was down there to make the stop. We'll be returning in a moment.
Now Black & Decker has come along with a handyman's helper that's mighty strong. It's small and light, but it pulls its weight. It's the super incredible Workmate. Yeah, it's more than a bench and more than a vise. It's got both things working, and that's kind of nice. You can pound on it, a saw on it, a plane of door on it, and a whole lot more. Yeah, when you're alone and there's work to do, the Workmate will help you see it through.
Sears National Automotive Sale. The Sears Die Hard. The battery you've seen start 5 cars is now on sale. Save $7 on the Die Hard. Now only $37.99. For traction, mileage, and strength, get Sears steel belted radial, the same type of tire that beat the Baja. Now the biggest savings ever. Save $36 to $80 on sets of 4. Only at Sears.
.258 remaining in the first quarter from Chicago. The Pittsburgh Steelers have the ball at their own 44-yard line. They lead 3-0.
Critical series for the defensive team of the All-Stars. If they can stop them here and get good field position, they're very much in the game.
Little local color as Terry Bradshaw looks over the All-Star defensive alignment. Up in the air, goes out on top to Rocky Flyer, and Flyer scrambling down the sidelines. And we'll see where they mark it. At the 40-yard line, just inside the 40, up there covering was Aaron Kyle, the #1 draft pick for Tom Landry and his Dallas Cowboys.
They obviously caught the All-Stars reading run that time, and everybody was wide open.
Ball at the 39-yard line. For your information, you Buffalo Bill fans, they signed their #1 draft pick. He's playing tonight. He's number 29, Mario Clark of Oregon. He was signed at 5:30 this evening. On the 1st and 10, Bradshaw going for Swan. Good defense back there. Number 40, Ed Lewis, the second-round draft pick of the San Francisco 49ers from Kansas, was back there along with Mario Clark. And we just spoke of Mario. Signed with the Bills tonight, the #1 draft pick. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
You got to get a little better rush than that, or Bradshaw's going to eat him up. I was talking with Chuck Knoll at noon, Frank, and he said that Bradshaw is really so effective throwing the ball that in practice he can do things that you tell him that you better not try to throw it that hard in the game because they're not going to be able to catch it. You slow him up, but he's got that great touch on the long ball, on the short ball. He's really a remarkable thrower.
He's been good in the past, Bud, but he really came of age last year. 57%, 18 touchdowns. Now on a 2nd down and 10, he hands off to Rocky Flyer. Flyer up to the 35-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Ron McCartney, number 53, LA's second-round draft pick, made the stop along with Ed Simonini, number 77. There's Chuck Knoll. What a remarkable record he's had since coming to the Steelers in '69.
Did a great job of picking people in the draft, slowly build up his team, and they're right at the height of their powers now. Almost everybody on the team is either 28 or 29 years old.
Super Bowl champions the last 2 years. 3rd down and 6, the ball at the 35. Bradshaw again, looking. A lot of time again, runs out of the pocket. And this time he throws into a crowd intended for Swan. Kevin McLean was back there, almost got his hands on it for the All-Stars, but not quite. 4th down, the All-Stars firm up and hold again. Ara Parsegan, we spoke of Knowles' incredible record. This man had that sensational record at Notre Dame, 170 wins, 58 losses, 6 ties, 2 national championships, and back on the sidelines where he belongs, Bud.
You bet. He also had a winning record at Northwestern, which a lot of people overlook, and when you have a winning record at Northwestern facing the power schools of the Big Ten, it's a remarkable achievement.
College All-Stars call timeout.
We've got a great series of college football games coming up this fall, Frank. Season begins Thursday, September 9th with UCLA at Arizona State. Arizona State, the surprise winners last year of the Fiesta Bowl. And that's Saturday, September 11th. Great regional, Pittsburgh and Notre Dame being the headline game. Tulsa, Oklahoma State, South Carolina against Georgia Tech, and Houston at Baylor. And the following week, September 18th, it's Ohio State against Penn State as the leadoff game in another fine regional.
But you don't mind if we say a little thing about Monday Night Football. We began, of course, with Miami and Buffalo.
September 9th is going to be here before we know it, and that's the opening game. It's a Thursday night. It's one that all college football fans should mark on their calendar. If Arizona State can beat the UCLA Bears, they could take it all the way. Another undefeated season for Frank Kush.
You know, many people are saying that Arizona State Bud could go on to become the #1 team. Many of them have picked them already. Bobby Walden set the punt. Joe Washington, single safety. Walden looking for the end zone, and he made a hit of beauty. No, he did not. He came close to putting it out inside the 5. So the All-Stars will have an opportunity with a little breathing room. They move from their own 20. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The Steelers out in front, 3-0. Roy Girella, a 29-yard field goal.
The All-Stars are still fighting that field position thing, Frank. This is the third time they've had the ball. They had it on their own 6, their own 23. Lost 10 yards on the first play that time on the holding penalty. Now they've got it on the 20. Hopefully they can work themselves out into some kind of position where they can really open up and operate.
Their main man will be quarterback Craig Penrose out of San Diego State. His setbacks, Galbraith, number 30, Washington, 24. Little delayed trap, Tony Galbraith out to the 23-yard line, mark it at the 24. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Hit there by Jack Ham, number 59. We haven't talked much about these Steelers linebackers. What a good core it is. Ham, 59. Jack Lambert in the middle, number 58. Andy Russell playing his final year, number 34.
They tell me Jack Ham, who's only 6'1", can stand underneath a basketball backboard and then jump from a standing position and dunk it. I don't know if that's true, Frank, but the way he plays, I guess it must be.
But a running back's head on the blackboard now, sure that it can. 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 24. Galbraith gets the call. Good spinning, twisting movement out to the 30. Short of the first, or maybe not. It will depend upon where they mark it. Glenn Edwards moving up, number 27, to make the stop with help from Steve Furness.
Pretty good play in there that time. He looked like the first man had the ball, and the Steelers thought he did. Galbraith coming through behind him, just barely short of the first down.
Coming in at another tight end for the All-Stars, who on short yardage will tighten up their offensive unit, is Mike Barber, number 86. Ben Cunningham, number 85, is the other tight end, the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 1 draft pick. 3rd and just a little bit, and number 86, Mike Barber, moves across the line of scrimmage, and that will change the tactics somewhat for the All-Stars.
Not only changes the tactics, but it makes you shake your head and say a few things under your breath.
Maybe that's why Ara Parsegan thought he'd take a year's sabbatical. Little things like that.
I think this game is going to have a great effect on how Ara does approach going back to coaching. He seems to be more interested than he was a few months ago.
All-Stars have yet to complete a pass, but of course they have been deep in their own territory. They opened up with quarterback Mike Kruchak. Is Craig Penrose now. He has a 3rd down, a little more than 5 yards to go. Bashnagel, number 48, 1 wide receiver. Washington, the motion man, gets the draw play, and he attracts Jack Lambert and a whole bunch of Steelers. And down he goes. Loss of a couple of yards with L.C. Greenwood in there with Lambert. So the All-Stars will be forced to punt.
And you mentioned before the game began that the Steelers were not a team to make mistakes, Frank. They have not made one error. They haven't had a penalty, anything else go wrong in the entire first quarter.
Really wasn't kidding you, Bud. We were talking to Lynn Swan. He said, last time we played for $15,000. He meant the Super Bowl. He said, we're playing tonight so that we can get 2 days off instead of 1 before we play New Orleans next Saturday night. That's how it is in training camp. Rick Ingalls to punt for the college All-Stars. This time he gets off a good one. Taken there by Gaines. Mr. Gaines, oh, at the D level. Wow, now is he hit by number 93, the All-American from Oklahoma, Leroy Selman. And just as the gun sounds. And we'll be back with more of the College All-Star football game presented by ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Where's the roughest spot you have to shave? Your chin, around your lips, under your nose, your neck? My rough spot. Rise knows you have easy spots and rough spots, so we make Rise especially for the rough spots. Matter of fact, Rise has 4 beard softeners. 4. We figure if Rise makes your rough spots easy to shave, it has to be just great for your whole face.
I guess you could say I'm a professional sweater, because out there you really work up a thirst. You see this Gatorade thirst quencher? It's not like one of your soda pops or iced teas. It's like me, the greatest.
Gatorade's the one drink specially designed to really quench your thirst and give your body what it's thirsty for.
When it comes to quenching your thirst, nothing can match Gatorade. And when it comes to wrestling, there ain't a man that can touch me.
It's your face, that shit. Love it, it's your face, that shit. Love it, it's your face, that shit. Love it.
Push, pull, click, click. The Schick injector system loves your face this quick. Push, pull, click, click, and you lock a Teflon-coated blade into place for a really smooth, close shave.
It's your face, that shit. Love it.
Schick injector system, regular or twin blades.
This is Frank Harris. I brought you the story of children like these from the settlement houses and the great moments you made possible when Mildred Morrison completed her education. Now I'm here to introduce you to the 3rd season of the Great Moments series, and I'll be joined by the top stars from each of the NFL teams. We'll be bringing you the great moments on the field and the great moments you make possible in the lives of people. You can create a few great moments of your own. Be a part of your United Way. Thanks to you, it works. For all of us, the United Way.
We begin the second quarter of the 43rd annual College All-Star football game with the Steelers leading 3-0. Roy Jarrell, a 29-yard field goal. Steelers 1st and 10. They move from their own 46-yard line. Reggie Harrison, 46, is one set back along with Frenchy Fuqua, number 33. Fuqua gets the call, stacked up on the left side, no gain. 2nd down and 10. Let's go down to Lee Grosskopf.
Thanks, Skip. Mike Kruschek has a badly bruised left thigh. He's trying to loosen it up. If it does loosen up, you'll see him back in the football game. If not, you'll continue to see Craig Penrose or Jeff Blunt. Skip?
Thank you, Lee. And, of course, Kruschek was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. You would think they would treat him a little more delicately than that.
However, forget.
That's the case. 2nd down and 10. If anything, a loss of about a foot. The ball just over the 45-yard line. Wide receiver Stallworth, 82 now for the Steelers. Lynn Swan remains, number 88. Getting the call is Reggie Harrison. Harrison piled up by the Selman brothers.
Middle of that line is awfully tough defensively. Dewey Selman, Roy Selman, Ed Simonini, they make it tough in there.
Gets a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down, a long 8. Ball resting right at the 48-yard line. Chuck Noll. Last 4 years, he's won 43. He's lost 12 and tied 1. Came from Baltimore and is put together under Art Rooney, a great championship team in Pittsburgh. On the 3rd down, Bradshaw looking. Takes a look at Harrison. He's not available. Goes out to his wide receiver, Lynn Swan, intended him to Swan. Swan slipping on the turf. First quarter, not a bad one for the All-Stars, considering how many times they were in trouble in their own territory, Bud.
The total yardage, if you take the passing out of it, they played a very good first quarter, and I think that Eric Parsegan is very pleased with this. When you are going against the pros for the first time, Frank, as both you and I recall, it takes a little while to get the confidence that, yeah, we're as good as these guys. We can play with them. And by now, the All-Stars, I think, along the line feel that way.
Bradshaw, of course, not burning the barn down either, Bud. He's 3 of 8 for 50. 4th down, Steelers will punt. Bobby Walden, Joe Washington, single safety for the All-Stars. Walden, very obviously, does not want Washington to get his hands on the football. Puts it out of bounds inside the 14-yard line. Steelers over the All-Stars, 3-0, 13:30 remaining in the first half. We'll be back.
I tune up friends' cars as a favor. But when they say I need new points, condensers, and plugs, I say you may not need new plugs. Not if you use these auto lights. They got a special extended tip that's self-cleaning, burns off carbon deposits. So instead of lasting 5,000 miles, they'll easily last 10,000. They say, change the plugs. So I changed the plugs. What do I do with their old auto lights? Put them in my car. I haven't bought a new plug in years.
Introducing Motor Trend Magazine's 1976 Import Car of the Year, the Celicas from Toyota. Motor Trend calls all three Celicas the right cars at the right time and picked them over every other import. This award is based on engineering, styling, comfort, and performance. If you're asking for a quality car, listen to Motor Trend. Get a Toyota. Quality.
Here's what it looks like for the All-Stars. They're a long way from home. Bobby Walden hitting another one out of bounds inside the 15, but...
And he did that with a 54-yard punt. And when you can light it on the sidelines, making it go out of bounds at the full distance of the ball, that's the kind of accuracy that every coach is looking for in his punters. And I believe that the new pro rule is going to see a lot more of that kind of kicking. They're not going to try to kick it over the end zone because the 20 yards that they lose when the ball comes back out takes away from their punting average. New rule this year.
And he certainly did want to keep it away from Washington. Mike Pruitt, 38, is in there. This is Pruitt. Over the right side, he's from Purdue, the Cleveland Browns, #1 draft pick. Gets a couple of yards, it'll be 2nd down and 8. They already have Greg Pruitt over there with the Cleveland Browns. Now they have Mike Pruitt. Archie Griffin, the #1 draft pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, is in there at the other setback, number 45. He, of course, of the dual Heisman Award. Wide receivers now, Sam White, number 26, from Grambling. The Vikings' 2nd-round draft pick, Larry Dorsey, from Tennessee State. And bobbled. Ball is bobbled. Who has it? Steelers.
It's the one that they've been hoping would not happen. Little mix-up in the backfield.
Mix-up, and it was the bottom of the pile, Jack Lambert. Jack Lambert, in his 3rd year, he's always around the football. The first break goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. There he is, and don't let that boyish young face fool you. Just don't get in his area when he's on a football field.
6'4", 220 pounds. He's got great lateral range.
1st and 10, the ball at the 15-yard line of the College All-Stars. Bradshaw flooding back to the right, isolating a receiver, and he cannot get to him. It was intended for John Stallworth. Bradshaw putting both backs to the right. That generally will isolate a receiver on the weak side against one man. That's exactly what happened. Bradshaw threw it underneath. Mario Clark trying to cover John Stallworth.
I can't tell whether Terry's slipping a little bit when he throws the ball or not, Frank, but it looks like he is because he had the receiver open a couple of times and has underthrown them just a little.
Hey, if he'd have been playing here an hour ago, he would have needed a swim fence.
Have to put something extra on it to get it through the rain.
So far, we've had no rain during the course of the game. 2nd down and 10. Bradshaw through the air. Lots of time and no open receivers. Stallworth in the corner. No good. Mario Clark from Oregon, the Bills' #1 draft pick. Back there on the coverage.
A big rush here on Bradshaw, and this is the kind of move that makes him the great quarterback that he is. Rolls it to the outside, looks like he's going to run with the ball. He sees Stallworth open, and this one he really did on the run, hang out there absolutely perfectly. Stallworth, however, as you can see, does not get both feet in bounds. You've got to have both feet in bounds in pro football. I don't think he had either one of them in, but clearly he was off the field of play.
Bradshaw now has left himself in a must-passing situation. Steelers leading 3-0, 29-yard Jarrella field goal. More pressure intended for Swan and broken up by number 51 for the College All-Stars, Kevin McClain, the #1 draft pick for the Los Angeles Rams. While Frenchie Fuqua was all excited. Nobody was covering him, but again, Bradshaw's been attracting a lot of all-stars back there. He really didn't have time to think about it.
He's got some great moves, though. Looks like they're going to put it on him, and he just gives it that little lateral step. And You know, but watching pro ball, Frank, that's what always makes me shake my head as a coach, because you get beat on the plays where the quarterback's rushed, rolls out, patterns break down, they hit somebody.
Okay, Roy Gerela on now. His second attempt of the night from 32 yards out. And this time, just about a full 9-iron.
A little carom shot there.
So the Steelers lead the College All-Stars with 12:30 remaining in the first half, 6-0.
The Alaskan Pipeline, one of the largest construction projects since the pyramids. And the men who are making it have to give it all they've got, or they don't make it.
Quit time! Come on, guys, let's go!
And up here, quitting time is Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you got the time, we got the beer. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through with you. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you got the time, we got the beer.
Gerela has hit from 32 yards out. The Steelers leading the All-Stars 6-0. Frank Gifford along with Bud Wilkinson and Lee Grosscup. Pleasure to be with Bud, the 7th winningest coach in all the history of collegiate football, 3 national champions, and a gentleman that is a pleasure to be with. And Gerela kicking away from Archie Griffin and Joe Washington, and is taken there by Galbraith, the big fullback. And Galbraith bowls his way out to the 34-yard line, hit there by Donnie Shell. And right now, let's go down to Lee Grosscup. He's on the sidelines.
Thanks, Frank. Craig Penrose has injured the middle finger on his right hand. That means that Jeff Blunt of Tulsa now takes charge for the All-Stars. He was a replacement for Richard Todd of Alabama. Now, you remember that the last time the All-Stars won this game was back in 1963 with another alternate quarterback, Ron Vanderkellen of Wisconsin.
Yep. Thank you, Lee, and what a memorable night that was. 1st and 10 for the College All-Stars. Here's Blunt running the option play down the line of scrimmage, tossing out there to Archie Griffin, and he is promptly nailed by number 24, J.T. Thomas, who makes up that secondary of Thomas, Wagner, Edwards, and Blunt. They're good.
Got to give Blunt a little bit of credit coming in semi-cold and on his first play running the option on a wet field, but he handled it beautifully.
Mel Blunt, number 47, led the entire National Football League with interceptions last year, and he's just not had the opportunity tonight because the Collegians have not put the ball in the air.
They will pretty soon, Frank. They got enough field position now, I think, that Harrell will let them put it up.
2nd down along 13. The ball at the 31-yard line of the All-Stars. Here comes Blunt looking, finding Washington. First pass of the night. The screen to Washington. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Joe Washington is going to San Diego, and he is one exciting football player. He's not big, but I think it's been proven now in pro football. The old theory of the little man can't play has been just about erased. Here he is. He's 5'9", 175. You know him better, Bud. He's special.
Well, the people in the Big 8 also say he's perhaps the best blocker on the Oklahoma team last year. You tend to overlook that when you've got somebody who's mercury-footed as he is.
3rd down. 3rd down and 12. Blunt rolling out, attracts the crowd, fired, and picked off by Jack Lambert. At midfield, Jack Lambert, who does just a little bit of everything on the football field, but most of it is around the football. Steelers with their second break at midfield. Mind you, tomorrow, Olympic coverage from Montreal is going to continue as we look at Jack Lambert. One of the 100-meter finals in track, the finals in the shot put, more exciting boxing, the rowing finals for women, and the finals in the women's platform diving. This all coming from Montreal. We know you've enjoyed the coverage and the tremendous effort put out by a lot of my friends, the technicians, and everyone from Montreal. So be with us. We'll pick up tomorrow at 12 noon. Bradshaw on 1st and 10. Complete. He hits Randy Grossman, and Grossman is down the sideline. Moving inside the 20, down to the 19. The backup tight end, Randy Grossman. And again, Bud Wilkinson, that's how Bradshaw can really hurt you.
Let's watch Bradshaw. Nobody open on the first pattern, and that's that speed that he has that makes him the great player. Rolls out, dead on the run. Pass complete beautifully. People sliding around down there, but Bradshaw's execution when he's rushed is remarkable.
That was Ken Novak in there pressuring Bradshaw, the Baltimore Colts #1 draft pick out of Purdue. Steelers, 1st and 10. Ball at the 19-yard line. Setbacks, 46, Harrison. Richie Fuqua, 33. Frenchie, nowhere to go. It's Troy Archer, the Giants #1 draft pick out of Colorado, moving in there to drop Fuqua for a 2-yard loss. Mario Clark also coming up on the outside to turn Fuqua back to the inside.
Archer looks very well balanced out there. He's controlling it from the outside, and he ignores the fakes, stays on his feet, plays it calm and cool.
Troy Archer, 6'3", 245-pounder. Second down now and 12. The ball at the 21-yard line. Bradshaw, man wide open is Fuqua. And Fuqua down to the 11-yard line.
Little quick rollout.
Ed Lewis picked him up down there.
See him rolling out there quickly just to the top of your screen, and it's a very fast throw to him. He's right out in the flat. He appears to be wide open. He gets it turned up the field pretty well. He's hit hard there by Ed Lewis of Kansas. Lewis weighs only 170 pounds, and Fuqua kind of runs over him for a few steps.
And after tonight, Ed Lewis, number 40, will be reporting to the 49ers. Third down and 3. Ball at the 11-yard line. 9:44 remaining in the first half. All field goals thus far. 32-yarder by Jarrella, a 29-yarder by Jarrella. Inside handoff, Harrison, big hole. He's inside the 10. Has the first down. Reggie Harrison. He was the Cards' 9th round draft pick back in 1974. Came to the Steelers as a free agent. Had a little problem cracking the lineup of a Rocky Blyer and a Franco Harris.
I kind of feel the Steelers taking on a little more polish, though, every minute the game goes along. They've not had too much practice thus far this year, and they're kind of playing themselves into shape right now. Let's take a look at this one from the end zone.
First and goal. Ball at the 4-yard line. Steelers leading 6-0. Bradshaw pulling ahead down to close to the 1-yard line. Dewey Selman, Leroy Selman, both trying to power Bradshaw backwards. Terry's a big man himself, 6'3", 218 pounds.
You're not supposed to run that play on first down from the 4-yard line, Frank. You're supposed to go outside someplace, and the Selman brothers were both feeling that way. Took a little bit of an outside charge and left it wide open for Bradshaw.
Terry, sometimes doesn't do what you expect. Sometimes he doesn't do what he expects.
I think most of the time he does what Noel expects, though.
Second down. Ball inside the 1-yard line. We do not have a 30-second clock in effect, but the Steelers have gone beyond the allotted 30 seconds. We had anticipated having the official 30-second clock on the field. However, it was not operational. But the officials have been instructed, as they were last year. They ran a survey to see how many times they were going beyond that 30-second time limit. They decided to put a clock in on it, just like you have in basketball, a 24-second clock.
It's going to be interesting for the fans to watch that this fall, particularly Monday Night Football, Frank.
Don't have to worry about it on your NCAA football, do you, Bud?
No, they get it in and out of the huddle and off usually before 20 seconds.
Second down from the 6-yard line. Bradshaw wide open. I don't think he held on. Randy Grossman had it right in his hand. Nope. Oh. Talk about open. Randy Grossman, the tight end, who made a spectacular catch and run earlier, could not hold on to this one.
Grossman running out from his tight end position. Excellent protection. Bradshaw hits him on a little curl pattern, and the ball appears to be right in there, but Grossman just lets it slip through, and it goes to the ground. that were baseball, that would be an error on a receiver. Football, that's one the passer failed to complete.
You know how embarrassing that is to come back to the huddle after that happens. Just hang your head. Sorry, guys. On third down. Bradshaw throws it up for grabs. John Stallworth. There's a flag down. Now, I don't know whether it was tipped by one Steeler, caught by another one. There's a big crowd of folks. Flag is down in the end zone. Swan, I think, tipped it, and Stallworth caught it. That, of course, illegal. I think it was Swan that caught the tip. Let's take a look again.
Bradshaw dropping back. You can see the ball as he lets it go in the air. And our cameraman caught it. And there's one Steeler bouncing it.
That's Stallworth tipping it.
Stallworth tipped it.
Swan catching.
And
illegal.
Swan made another one of those great recovery catches, but it's an illegal reception because two Steelers touch it without an intervening All-Star touching it.
So Girella goes again from the 23-yard line, or a 23-yard attempt. And he's good. Troy Girella, 3 for 3. The Steelers leading the All-Stars 9-0. And we'll be returning to Soldier Field in a moment. This will be Washington at his own 3-yard line. Washington hurdles out over the 20-yard line to the 22-yard line. Tomorrow I'll be moving over to Canton, Ohio, and immediately following our Olympics coverage, which picks up at noon, well, we'll be coming on the air at 2 o'clock Eastern Time with the annual Hall of Fame game from Canton, Ohio. Of course, that'll be Detroit going against Denver. You'll also see the induction of the 3 newest members to the Shrine, the late Lynn Ford, Jim Taylor, the great running back from Green Bay. I understand a lot of his pals are there whipping it up with him. And former coach Ray Flaherty. That's tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, Hall of Fame game, Denver-Detroit from Canton, Ohio. Jeb Blunt remains the quarterback for the All-Stars, trailing 9-0. The handoff, Mike Pruitt. Mike Pruitt is introduced to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dwight White, Brother severely. Met right at the line of scrimmage.
Era would like to be able to work on the Steeler corners, but in order to do that, you've got to slow down the coverage from the inside, the lateral pursuit. And thus far, the All-Stars have not been successful at all in keeping the inside of the Pittsburgh defense at home.
We'll give Mike Pruitt a yard. 2nd down and 9. But firing out, and he completes the pass to Archie Griffin. Hit there by J.T. Thomas, short of the first down. Terry Bradshaw talking to his main man on the sidelines, Franco Harris. Gain of 7. 3rd down, a long 3. Ball marked just over the 28-yard line. Jeb Blunt, 6'3", 198-pounder from Tulsa, the Oakland Raiders, number 2 draft pick. As Lee Grosskopf told you, he was added because Alabama's Richard Todd is not here. He completed 53% of his passes in the Missouri Valley Conference. And he completes another one to Dave Hill. The tight end, look at Dave Hill. Down to the 46-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. J.T. Thomas made the stop.
Blunt gave that one a little bit of cool there, Frank. He was rushed. He rolled out, little delay pattern. Hill just kind of floated across the line of scrimmage. Take a look at it again. See Blunt dropping back. Looks as though he's pressured here a little bit. He drops that ball off. Very short pass. And Hill finds some daylight as he crosses the field. He's a big boy. He turns it on.
6'2", a 227-pounder. He's on his way to the Houston Oilers as a 2nd-round pick. Hopping up the middle is Mike Pruitt. And he gets popped after a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 48-yard line. Ernie Holmes, number 63. Part of a very aggressive front 4.
That's an understatement.
Dwight White, 78. Ernie Holmes, 63. Joe Green, 75. Greenwood, 68. Being admired by one of the Chicago Lovelies. 2nd down and 7. Inside handoff, Washington trips over his own man. Right tackle, Dennis Lick.
Very difficult to get your running attack properly coordinated in a short period of time. The passing game, as you know, Frank, is about the only thing that's fun to practice in football. All the other things are not fun to practice, and to get good timing on the trapping and the running plays just requires repetition, and the Stars haven't had quite enough time to get it all put together, particularly with a wet field.
So far, it's Roy Gerela, 3 field goals. Steelers 9-0, 5-12, clock moving, remaining in the first half. All-Stars have a 3rd down and 9. They're at the 45-yard line of the Steelers. Blunt, screen pass, Archie Griffin. Griffin taken out of bounds, a lot of action, a lot of running, a gain of 1. Jim Allen over there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll bring on the 4th down, the punting unit for the All-Stars.
It's the kind of play that gives you untold respect for the Pittsburgh defense. Looks like they're all moving the wrong way. Looks like Archie's going to break something, and they just put the brakes on. They slide right back and never lose the pattern down the field. He just had no room to run.
Winford Gaines, the single safety man for the Steelers. Rick Engels to do the punting. They're going for it, and they just about get it. Engels angling over to the left side. Flag is down. A little discussion at midfield. And again, the All-Stars apparently not really used to this professional rule. You can only send your 2 outside men down until the ball is punted. They have illegal men downfield once again.
College, you're always telling your people, get down there quickly, and it does take a little while to learn to stay on that line of scrimmage till the ball has been kicked, unless you're one of the outside men.
Kevin ineligible downfield, 59 offense. We have 4th down.
4th down, and the Steelers elect to have the All-Stars kick once again. Engels puts it up high, taken there. Fair catch called for by Winford Gaines. Gaines at his own 14-yard line, 36-yard punt. Of course, August the 2nd, Monday Night Baseball will be returning. Bob Uecker, Bob Prince, Warner Wolf. They'll be with us August the 2nd for Monday Night Baseball on the network of sports, ABC.
I think you got most of America tuned in to watch ABC Sports prime time, Frank.
Well, I know the numbers of people that have been enjoying our Olympic coverage. I, for one, enjoying it along with millions of others. Incredible things happen at the Olympics, and we have seen it already. And, of course, our coverage picks up tomorrow at 12 o'clock. The Steelers now pick up 1st and 10. They begin play from their own 13-yard line. 4:40 remaining in the first half. They have a 9-0 lead. Gerela's 3 field goals. Reggie Harrison pecking along. Gets a couple of yards out to the 15. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
This is the first time that the All-Stars have had the Steelers backed up on any one of the exchanges. The worst field position they've had prior to this was their own 30-yard line, and that was the opening kickoff. They've had it up around midfield or inside the All-Stars 40-yard line on all other exchange points.
You're wondering about field goal records? That's held by an old-timer named Luke Rosa. He booted 4 of them here. On 2nd down and 8. Bradshaw, lots of time. Finds Grossman. Grossman hit, taken out of bounds. Just inside the 20-yard line, a gain of 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Roy Gerela taking care of a very valuable instep.
I don't know if they just massaging it to keep it warm or whether it's sore.
Roy Gerela, he's been so valuable to these Steelers. 17 of 21 last year. 3rd down, a long 4. The ball just short of the 20-yard line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bradshaw, everyone in the pattern. firing to his setback, or rather his tight end, Randy Grossman, who curled under his setback, and he's out there for a first down. Hit there by Phil Yaw, the Oakland Raiders #2 draft pick out of Texas Southern.
Just look at that pass protection by the Pittsburgh line. Bradshaw perfectly in the pocket. Grossman curling underneath. He slips on the wet field, goes down, gets up, spins out. Looks like he might get it someplace, but Archer is back there to make the play.
On first down. Ball at the 26-yard line. And out to Randy Grossman. Grossman with another catch out to the 31-yard line. He has now caught 4 receptions from Terry Bradshaw. Hit there by Steve Wagner, who's on his way to the Minnesota Vikings after having played his football at the University of Wisconsin.
It's a little tough on the defensive secondary, as you know, Frank. When the field is wet this way, you've got to play them a little bit looser because you may slip. You don't want them to get behind you when the All-Stars are trying to play a little bit loose, and that lets those curl underneath patterns be open.
And Terry Bradshaw gets it off before the 2-minute warning. And a flag goes down and picked off. It's Steve Wagner who picked it off, but again, a flag is down. Steve Wagner. The University of Wisconsin, the penalty against the Steelers. The All-Stars have to break and will also pick up a 2-minute warning. See it again.
Bradshaw back. He's not rushed. He overthrows the ball just slightly. And Wagner is right there to make a diving catch. He recognizes this is pro ball. He's not hit. And he gets up and starts to go right away.
6 feet tall, a 208-pounder.
Recover very, very quickly, but the All-Stars are in business at the 25-yard line. First big break for him. There's a happy young All-Star, Steve Wagner, #6, who intercepted the pass.
And the 2-minute warning being given. 1:57 remaining now in the first half. There he is. Steve Wagner on his way to the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll be returning here in a moment.
Sears National Automotive Sale. The battery that has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't is now on sale. Save $7 on the Die Hard. Now only $37.99. For traction, mileage, and strength, get Sears steel-belted radial, the same type of tire that beat the Baja. Now the biggest savings ever. Save $36 to $80 on sets of 4. Only at Sears.
Sometimes Bank AmeriCard can make all the difference.
Steve Wagner from the University of Wisconsin has just intercepted Terry Bradshaw of the Steelers. The All-Stars down 9-0 with 1:57 remaining in the first half. They have a 1st and 10. They're at the 25-yard line of the Steelers. The quarterback is Jeff Blunt. He's going for the entire bundle in one shot. And good coverage back there on Larry Dorsey. Fine coverage. Defensively, Jim Allen was back there, #45. He was getting help from Mike Wagner, or rather Donnie Shell now, who's moved in at safety for the Steelers. I think Jeff Blunt, Bud, has moved into the lineup because Mike Kruchek hurt his leg. Craig Penrose hurt his finger, and now Blunt is in the lineup.
And it appears from that 4 out of 5 that he has a hot hand, for the moment at least. I think he's got a better shot against this defense if he tries to hit people on crossing patterns or delayed receivers coming out. That Steeler secondary is very adept against the long ball.
That was his first incompletion. 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 25, and Blunt leaves it there. Pulled away from the center. Left a very important package. And Mike Pruitt came up with it. L.C. Greenwood came up with Mike Pruitt.
Coaching parlance, we call that snap from the quarterback T-formation center, rather, to a T-formation quarterback, an automatic exchange. Now and again, it doesn't prove to be automatic.
Yeah, I just wondered about how much opportunity he's had to work, because I'm sure that Ara Prosigan planned to go with Kruchek and Penrose.
He hasn't had as much as the other 2 men, and it's a very difficult thing to get the ball smoothly all of the time.
3rd down. Oh, and wow. Penrose throws is really belted. It was Dwight White who came up with the ball. Greenwood unloaded on Blunt, and that's putting it rather delicately.
You can see the ball just slipping out of his hands. The hands were too high on the center's buttocks, and the ball never did get into Blunt's hands at all, and that was a very, very costly fumble. Looked like a minimum of 3 points there for the All-Stars after that intercepted pass, but by failing to make the proper exchange, they lost their opportunity.
Again, keep in mind, it probably is the fact that first two quarterbacks, Kruchek and Penrose, were hurt. They're out of the game. That under the fact that Blunt has not had the opportunity to work that he should have had. In any event, Steelers have the football. 1 minute remaining in the first half, and Bradshaw goes to the air, incomplete. Intended there, Bob Geddes.
I guarantee you one thing, during the half, Brock and Blunt are going to practice snapping the ball to each other in the dressing room.
You know, it's just going through my mind. They'll be out in the tunnel right outside of the dressing room and taking a few snaps, I guess.
You betcha.
And Kruchek from Boston College, a Pittsburgh Steelers draft pick, hurt his leg in the very first minutes of the game. Craig Penrose was hurt. Right now we're looking at Jack Ham taking on a little refreshment. Great linebacker, the Steelers. 17 interceptions for Jack Ham over 5 years out of Penn State. Second down, Bradshaw is going to keep it in the air. That's how Bradshaw hurts you. And he gets it off to Geddes, this time incomplete. And first down for the Steelers inside All-Star territory at the 43-yard line. They immediately call timeout. They have one timeout remaining. 50 seconds on the scoreboard clock. They lead 9-0. Let's watch Geddes again, and keep in mind now, Bud, that Bradshaw is running all over the lot back there.
Geddes just keeps running, and he's so wide open. He hopes that Bradshaw can see him, and it's the hardest thing, I think, in football for a quarterback to do is to be rushed, roll out, and then be able to see the whole field. It takes a lot of experience, and that term peripheral vision has to be a part of your equipment as a quarterback if you're going to be able to do it.
Terry Bradshaw, great athlete, great musician now. He had a semi-hit record in country and western music outlet called I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, and sometimes he's felt that way, I'm sure. He knows the feeling. We talked to him the other day. He's got another one out. Said it opened on the charts, disappeared from the charts. But he says he's going to hang in there. Of course, recently married JoJo Saba from the Ice Capades. Fine athlete out of Louisiana Tech. Monday Night Football will be back with you. Our opening game, Miami and Buffalo. That should be a beauty. We don't know about the Juice, whether he's going to be there or not. Then, of course, we have some beauties coming up. September the 13th, of course, the opener. September the 20th, we have Oakland and Kansas City. Just some beauties. So be with us once again. And the coach is not here with me this evening. He's up covering the boxing in Montreal. Of course, I'm speaking of Howard Cosell. Alex Karras will be with me tomorrow in Canton, Ohio for the Hall of Fame game. Bradshaw looking on first down, firing in and out of the hands of John Stallworth. A little behind Stallworth. Bradshaw not happy with that pass. He had Stallworth wide open.
I just marvel at the pass protection of this Pittsburgh Steeler line. Harry Parsegan told me this afternoon that he thought they had enough variety of rushes and enough talent in their linemen as well as linebackers to put some pressure on Terry, but thus far they haven't laid a glove on him.
Roy Joella, he's put all the points on the scoreboard with 3 field goals. Second down and 10, 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Steelers would like to add some insurance. Bradshaw, this time he goes down. He put everyone into the pattern, and he paid for it. Phil Yaw from Texas Southern, the Raiders' #2 draft pick, in there first. Woodcock was also there, number 66. He's from Hawaii. He's Detroit's 3rd-round draft pick.
That time they kept the leverage, and there was no place for Terry to roll around to the outside as he's been doing. Every time else he's been rushed, he's been able to break outside on the corners.
No huddle, clock moving. Bradshaw. Stallworth slipped, did not hold on. That time the ball was well thrown, but Stallworth went down. The synthetic turf is wet, but there is now a flag down at the 41-yard line, and I think we're going to have a holding call against the Steelers.
I would assume that we would not take the penalty.
28 seconds indicated on the clock. Steelers have one timeout. They lead 9-0. We told you it rained a great deal late this afternoon, and you'll
see Stallworth here going for the ball. It was a little bit behind him, and he tried to plant that cleat hold up, but you could see the water spray almost as though he were an ice skater.
Penalty decline. It'll be 4th down. And in comes Bobby Walden, oldest man of the Steelers at 38. He'll punt away to Joe Washington, who's trying to guess with Bobby Walden as to which sideline Walden is going to try and reach. Walden gets off a bad punt. 22 seconds remaining. The All-Stars will open with fairly good field position. See where they mark it. It's out near the 30-yard line.
I think that Joe Washington outguessed him a little bit. He went over into the, I guess you'd call it the right field corner, and made Walden turn around to kick it to left field, and he just didn't get lined up right.
Mike Pruitt, 38. Archie Griffin, 45. The setbacks, they're in there with Jeb Blunt, the quarterback. They have 22 seconds with switch to work. Larry Dorsey, speedster from Tennessee State, is one wide receiver. Bash Nagel, 48, the other wide receiver. Blunt dumps it off the screen. Intended for Griffin. He could not hold on. Again, the turf, even though it's synthetic, has collected a lot of water.
See Archie just rolling to the outside, and he stopped a little bit. I think if he'd have kept on moving, the pass might have been completed, but very difficult footing.
Again, Bud, of course, the screen pass, one of the difficult plays to put together in just a short amount of time, and of course the All-Stars have not had that long a time to work together, and the screen pass takes absolutely perfect timing.
The men that are going to be in the screen have got to fake their pass block and then move to the outside perfectly, and that is tough. They're a little late that time.
On 2nd down. And Griffin gets away from one defender, Steve Furness. Tries to get back to the line of scrimmage. Cannot do so. Clock ticking off the final seconds of the first half. And there's the gun. The Steelers lead the All-Stars 9-0. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We'll be back after this from our local station.
I want a new car that'll spend more time in my garage than in Ernie's garage.
You asked for it. Toyota Corolla. Intelligently designed economy cars that are built to last. Intelligent means welding, not just bolting bodies together. One of the reasons 9 out of 10 Toyota cars ever sold in America are still on the road. If you can find a better built small car than Toyota, buy it. Quality.
You asked for it, you got it, Toyota.
Hey, Pete Rose! What's a man really want from an aftershave?
Not fancy perfume.
Or fancy bottles?
Not fancy prices.
No!
A man wants to smell like a man.
There's something about Aqua Velva.
He wants to be cool and refreshed.
There's something about Aqua Velva. A man wants to feel like a man.
Feel like a man.
'Cause there's something about an Aqua Velva man.
This is ABC, the one to turn to for excitement with the Captain Antonine. America's favorite recording team comes to television with their special guests, their very special music, and their own unique brand of humor. The Captain Antonine.
One hostage and 2 gunmen critical after a gun battle.
25 present and former magistrates indicted by a federal grand jury.
Details after the ball game on Channel 4.
What makes America work? An abundance of food and ways to preserve it.
A lot of our food is packaged in cans. Billions of cans a year. It takes steel to make those cans, and we supply more of it than anyone else. By improving our steel-making technology, we've helped can makers develop a new and even better food package, the seamless can.
Helping preserve our food, that makes America work. At United States Steel, we're involved.
This is WTAE-TV Channel 4 in Pittsburgh.
Tonight's coverage of the games of the 21st Olympiad is brought to you by Brim Decaffeinated Coffee, the official coffee of the 1976 Olympic Games. By the Real Goodness Folk at Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's finger-licking good. And by Ban Basic, a new non-aerosol antiperspirant spray. Action is winding down at the arenas around the Olympic city of Montreal. I'm Jim McKay from our ABC Sports anchor position. It's been a big day. We've got the track and field competition underway this afternoon. Some news there for the Americans. First of all, Kathy McMillan, an 18-year-old girl, won a silver medal in the women's long jump, and you'll be seeing that on this report this evening. All the American sprinters have moved safely into the semifinal round. I guess that was the other biggest news out there. A Russian, however, Nikolai Andrianov, won 4 gold medals all told in men's gymnastics. He is the Nadia Comaneci of the men. We'll see that in just a minute.
We're actually getting more for our money. Even a small bottle will last us a long time.
She's talking about Ban Basic, the new non-aerosol antiperspirant pump spray.
It gives you a fine spray, like an aerosol, with no aerosol propellants. And Ban Basic is economical. This small 3-ounce bottle will last almost as long as these 3 5-ounce aerosol cans combined.
Ban Basic, effective, very economical, and non-aerosol.
It's more economical, definitely.
At the Montreal Olympics this summer, the very best athletes of the world will be competing.
The best runners, the best swimmers, everything. And the coffee we will be serving will be Brim, with a great brown flavor.
Brim Decaffeinated Coffee has been chosen the official coffee of the 1976 Olympic Games.
Everybody loves the Brim. Me too.
Brim with great brown flavor and decaffeinated too.
It's the Olympic coffee.
Security at these games has been outstanding so far, but today there was a report from a London newspaper that the head of an Arab terrorist organization had somehow slipped through the ring of security and was in Montreal. Now, that's an important story, of course, but tonight, the head of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police station here for the game says there is no evidence to support these newspaper allegations. Jean-Louis Gagnon says we are investigating all this information, and at the moment there is absolutely nothing to confirm the newspaper allegations. We've dealt with a whole series of these rumors over the past month, and all our investigations have proved them incorrect so far. That's where that stands tonight. A man, the first person, was disqualified from these Olympics under the dope test today. A man named Paul Cerruti of Monaco, who finished 43rd in trap shooting, disqualified for the use of amphetamines. The interesting point is, Paul Cerruti is 65 years old. He was the oldest competitor in the games, but now he's gone. We told you we would tell you the story of the 4th gold medal overall in these Olympic Games of Nikolai Andrianov of the Soviet Union, the world's greatest male gymnast. He certainly proved it out at the Forum tonight before 18,000 people. Chris Schenkel and Gordon Maddox reported.
With 2 golds already, Nikolai Andrianov, the Soviet Union.
Right, a front handspring, front with a half twist, flip vault. Having himself some kind of Olympic game.
He needs a 9.725 to win his 3rd gold.
Well, he's looking at about a 9.7 vault right there, possibly higher. Takes a little step on his, just a little step forward on his landing. Now, he's got 2 vaults coming, and it's going to be the average of those 2 vaults, Chris, that'll count. Here's another view of the same vault. There's the handspring. Front somersault, he does a half twist on the 2nd somersault. Now he's got 1 more vault to average in with whatever score he gets.
And his first vault, a 9.75. 9.75 for Andrianov, who has to be called the king of the men's gymnasts. The queen, of course, being Nadia.
Oh, for sure.
Right now, this is his 2nd vault. Very, very important. He needs a 9.7 here. And he will win his 3rd gold, and this is the 4th event of 6.
He's been so steady in this competition, he ended up literally running away with the all-around.
Full twisting Sukahara. Brother, I believe you're looking at the gold medal winner.
I take a break. You sell the brim at these Olympics. You get busy like a beaver. Everybody loves a brim.
Only Brim decaffeinated coffee has been chosen the official coffee of the 1976 Olympic Games.
Me too. I love the brim. It's got some great ground flavor. Here they come. Okay, kid. Here we go again.
Brim with great ground flavor and decaffeinated too.
Who's next for the brim? It's the Olympic coffee.
Performance. Performance is what really counts. In athletic competition, or even in judging the quality of a pain reliever. And for me, this pain reliever, Excedrin, performs better than regular aspirin. What's more, in 2 medical studies on pain other than headache, pain that could be measured more readily, Excedrin performs significantly better than regular aspirin tablets. Try Excedrin, the extra strength pain reliever. Excedrin performs better for me. See if it doesn't perform better for you.
Well, there is a great deal of joy at Hoke County High School in Rayford, North Carolina tonight because teenager Kathy McMillan of the United States won herself a silver medal in the women's long jump this afternoon. Let's get that report from Keith Jackson and Wyomia Tyus.
The women's long jump. Some conversation here with Wyomia Tyus, in particular about young Kathy McMillan, who is the only American to advance to the final round. Sharon Walker and Martha Watson did not qualify for the finals. In the background, incidentally, you see one of the electronic marbles here at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. That picture is a live picture that is on the scoreboard, so that the people in all areas of this massive stadium are able to see, in some way or another, what is going on. And Kathy McMillan now is getting ready for her jump, the only American in the finals. Young woman from Rayford, North Carolina, who was our national champion and who was the top qualifier at our Olympic trial. Wyomia Tyus, she's up against it. Looks to me like she's getting a little bit of case of Olympic nerve.
It looks that way. I mean, everybody thought, along with me, felt that Kathy had a very good chance at the gold medal. It's still not out for her. They still have 3 more jumps, so I think she can really pull it out and get a medal out of this. But she's going to have to jump like the best thing of her life, maybe at 23 feet or something of that nature.
There she is now, reflected to the throng here at this massive Olympic stadium, preparing for her jump.
There's Kathy right there, and right now she's in 5th place on this jump.
What is she thinking about? What's the concentration point? As you see the world record of 22:11 1/4 held by Sigrid Siegel of East Germany.
The whole thing here is to stay relaxed, get good forward, good extension, and make sure you get those legs out in front of you.
Get as high as you can.
Right.
Oh, she sat back.
Oh, that's the first thing she needed to do. Considering that takes away a few inches from her, centimeters.
Now the very careful measurement.
Well, here she is now. Concentration. Running down the runway. Looks very good running down the runway. Picking up a lot of speed, really good speed. Hits the board, gets up there, very good, and she sits down on the jump. Sits down.
All right, that translates to 21 feet 1 1/4 inches for Kathy McMillan, and that keeps her in 5th place. Now you look at Angela Voigt of East Germany. Very fast coming down the runway, and very strong off the board, but she's been inconsistent. She has a history of foul trouble. Oh, that's a good one.
No foul trouble there. Got good forward, good height. Followed through on her jump, and when she jumped, she did not get backwards. She fell forward or to the side. That is the key. Here's another look at her. Look at the power she gets. She is moving just like a sprinter, just running down the track, attacking it. And what she has to do is attack. Watch her hit the board. Watch the height she get on it. Just beautiful, beautiful form. Just beautiful. Good, up in the air, beautiful. Legs out, arms back, beautiful jump. Just beautiful.
672 meters, that's 22 feet 3/4 inch, and that moves Angela Voigt of East Germany into 1st place. Now Sigrid Siegel of East Germany, the world record holder at 22:11 1/4.
Here she comes down the road. She doesn't have that much speed. She needs to get a lot more speed. Not such a good jump. She should have got more speed and more height. Let's see what that jump is right there.
She sort of set back too. 6.51, that's 21.4 1/4. So she does not make a move. She's in 2nd place. And And here is Lydia Alfaeva of the Soviet Union, who has a lifetime best of 22.3 1/4.
And here she goes. Look at those strides on her. Really concentrate the stride. Good forward, good jump. But she also sat down. I don't understand it. Most of the jumpers are sitting down.
She really had a big one there if she had been able to just fall forward.
Yeah, that is the key to the whole thing. Here we go, head down, really driving those first thing. Now she's straight up in a running position, really running for the board, hits the board, good jump. But look at this, falls down, sits down, and that's where they mark it, where you break the dirt from, right there.
6.60, that's 21 feet 8 inches, and that moves her into second place. Lydia Alfaeva in second place. And now, again, here is Kathy McMillan, 18 years of age, just graduated from high school and headed for Tennessee State University.
And here she is now really concentrating. Kathy's really going to have to concentrate on this jump and really get that height, really get some good height on her.
She's fifth place, 21 1/4, her best. Needs a big one. Oh, she's better. That is a good one.
She really did. She looked really good there. That's what that's really the key thing in long jump. It's long jump. Really concentration, a lot of concentration.
Their jump. Their jump. She almost sat down. You see how meticulous they are in measuring. And let's watch it again.
Here we are again. Look at her. Good striding. Start to pick up her stride here. Running fast, just like a sprinter. Looking very good. Looks very relaxed here. Looks like she just could jump out of the world if it's possible. Here we go. Reach for the board. Hits the board. Beautiful jump. Look at that. Beautiful. And she does not, almost, it does not sit down. That is really good. Really a key thing right there.
That was the difference. 6.66, 21 feet, 10 1/4 inches. Kathy McMillan into second place. And the final standing. Angela Voigt of East Germany wins the gold medal in the women's long jump. Kathy McMillan gets the silver medal, and Lydia Alfaeva the bronze.
I like my chicken finger licking good.
I like my chicken finger licking good.
Whatever Lila likes, Lila gets. And Lila likes her chicken finger licking good.
Well, of course I like my chicken finger licking good. Is there any other kind of chicken?
I like my chicken finger licking good.
Real goodness from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
What's the most fun about having tacos?
Making them.
Eating them.
Making them.
Eating them.
Ortega has what you need to make tacos at home. Take an Ortega taco shell, add meat you prepared with Ortega seasoning, then cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes. Top with Ortega taco sauce.
I like making them. And then eating them.
Ortega tacos. Fun to make, fun to eat.
Tomorrow will be the biggest day of these Olympic Games so far, and with a little luck in the semifinals, we could have Harvey Glantz, Steve Riddick, and Johnny Jones of the United States going against Valery Bortsov in the finals of the men's 100-meter dash. We're also going to have the finals of shot put, George Woods and the other big men. We're going to have John Naver going for his 4th gold medal in swimming tomorrow night, and we're going to be on the air from noon to 2, then Wide World with the Pro Football Hall of Fame game from Canton, Ohio. We'll be on the air from 5 to 7 and from 8 to 11. 7 hours of coverage. But right now, it's a good night from Montreal. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Watch the continuing coverage of the 1976 Summer Olympic Games all next week here on ABC.
One hostage and 2 gunmen critical after a gun battle.
25 present and former magistrates indicted by a federal grand jury.
Details after the ball game on Channel 4.
This seal means it's time for your Ford dealer's year-end clearance sale, when people are coming in to get a great buy on a new 76 F100. On TV, you've seen a tough 5-year-old Ford in stunts you shouldn't try. Now, we can't promise how your Ford would take stunts like this, but for a great buy on a tough 76 F100 or any of the other Ford cars and trucks, don't miss your Ford dealer's year-end clearance sale. Prices may never be this low again.
Hey, now you can save during your Ford dealer's year-end clearance sale.
I pay my bills whenever I get a chance. With Pay by Phone, banker's hours are from 9 to 9, 7 days a week.
I
used to bank my paycheck and put a little bit into savings. Now I deposit all of it into Pay by Phone and earn 5.25% interest.
I work hard for my money, and I want my money to work hard for me. Depositing my paycheck into Pay by Phone at Dollar Savings Bank is just like giving myself a raise every payday.
For more information on Pay by Phone, call 261-8181. Channel 4, your Action News station.
We're back in Chicago, Soldier Field, the College All-Star football game, the 43rd annual such happening here. And there is Terry Bradshaw. We've seen him go all the way this evening. Not having the best of nights, but Roy Girella has yet to miss, so the Steelers lead 9-0 over the All-Stars.
The All-Stars have played, I think, excellent defense, Frank. Those 3 field goals came from the All-Stars' 38-yard line where they got the ball. The Steelers did. Another time they recovered a fumble on a 14, and then they drove it in from the All-Stars' 47 for the 3rd field goal. But the story of the game has been the inability of the All-Stars yet to generate much of an offense, and I think the wet field has damaged them, and also the fact that they've lost the 2 quarterbacks who had most of the work, Kruchek from Boston College and Penrose from San Diego State.
Let's go down now with Lee Grosscup. He's on the sideline.
Frank, I'm with Jeb Blunt. Jeb, you're getting the football. What can we expect?
Lee, we simply need to cut out the errors, and we'll be back in the ball game. Good to see you.
Okay, good to see you. That's Jeb Blunt.
Jeb Blunt's going to be a little busy. Lee, have you had a chance to visit and find out anything about Kruchek and Penrose?
Will do, Frank.
All right, All-Stars on the sideline. They'll be receiving. Fiery group, and again, I'll remind you that Ara Parsegian was very confident with both Bud Wilkinson and myself before this game that his All-Stars could pull off the upset here.
I tell you, you're going against one of the provenly great defensive and professional football, and that's been the trouble. Ara thought that they could work on the corners, that they could get Greenwood perhaps and White, the 2 ends, for the Steelers pinned to the inside and roll out around them, but the Steelers have not been hurt enough inside to close with the inside fake, and so the All-Star offense thus far has really been quite impotent.
What the All-Stars need is a break, and they have 2 men back to receive the kickoff of Roy Girella as we begin the second half that can provide that. 24 is Joe Washington. He'll take the ball in his own end zone. And Washington gets up to the 24-yard line, hit there by Donnie Shell. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the College All-Stars. They still have to get on the scoreboard. Jeb Blunt comes back in a quarterback. He's number 14. Now he's replaced Penrose and Kruchek, who are both out with injuries.
And we've had a few thunderstorms before the game. The wind has switched tremendously now, and it's a strong, strong wind from the left of your screen to the right of the screen. The All-Stars working into the wind here in the 3rd quarter.
Starting setbacks that open the game are back in the ball game. Joe Washington, 24, the 1st-round draft pick of the Chargers out of Oklahoma. Tony Galbraith from Missouri, New Orleans, 2nd-round draft pick. They're in there with Blunt. Washington over the right side. Oh, he's bombed over there, hit by number 59, Jack Ham, along with L.C. Greenwood, number 68. The offensive wide receivers, Brian Baschnagel of Ohio State. He's going to the Chicago Bears. Duriel Harris from New Mexico State. Miami's 3rd-round pick is the other wide receiver, down to Lee Grosscup.
Frank, Kruchek can return to the game. He has a bruised knee. Penrose has a jam finger. He is also available. James White, a defensive player, will be out for the rest of the game with an injured knee.
Gift, 2nd down and 9, Washington around the left side. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe squeezes out a yard, taken out of bounds there by the veteran Andy Russell and Jack Lambert. Lambert 58, Russell 34. Russell playing this his final year, and amazingly enough, Andy Russell, the team leader defensively on the field, has never missed a game as a pro. He's played 154 straight, and he never missed a game in college or high school.
And he's beginning his 13th season, and he ran that time just like he was a rookie. He had the speed to go step for step with Joe Washington to the sidelines.
He choreographs the action out there for this fine Steeler defense. 3rd down, a long 9. Blunt dumps the screen off to Washington. Watch out as Washington throws out over the 40 to the 41. Showing that tremendous acceleration we talked about. He gets an All-Star 1st down.
Little quick screen pass here. Blunt dropping back, throwing it on the run. Washington, for the first time, has got some running room. He takes the break back to the inside, picks up two blockers, kind of screens, rides right with them, stumbles a little, falls off, but picks up a first down for the All-Stars.
And the All-Stars finally getting into an area where they can operate. They've been operating right close to their goal line throughout the entire first half. They're up to the 41 with a first down. And Blunt will go down. Getting in there very quickly, number 64, Steve Furness, who played so much of the year last year for the injured Joe Green. As a matter of fact, he started last year. He even started a playoff game, that against Baltimore, as Joe Green, of course, was suffering from a pinched nerve in his neck. He still is not altogether sure how it's going to be this year.
Trying to repeat the play that has worked for you normally is awfully good strategy because you don't think the defensive team is going to be looking for it. But the repeat that time had the Steelers looking right down the All-Stars' throat. They were ready for that quick screen.
Loss of 10, second down and 20. All-Stars from their own 31. Good night. Blunt hit by Ernie Holmes, the silent one of that front four of the Steelers. Yet he was the leader in team sacks last year, as he was the year before. Let's watch again, number 63.
Little crossing in the backfield. Looks like Blunt has got some room here. He shakes it off to the outside, looks just ready to make the throw, and at that time, it's bingo as Holmes is on his back.
A loss of 8 more. Third down and 28.
They're going to have to kick that ball into that stiff wind, too, which is going to take away the field position for them unless they do something great here, Frank. As you said, they did have it for a moment, but only a moment.
Well, Blunt, I don't think I'd have to tell him he should be very careful because the Steeler front four will disregard run. Here they come. Holmes taking everything with him. Gets time to unload it. And Brian Baschnagel way downfield could not hold on. Good coverage back there.
I'll tell you, Blunt's got some poise. He was the most valuable player in the Missouri Valley Conference last year. You can see him rolling out, set, looking, and he delivered the ball well. Baschnagel is almost open, but Steeler defense in great position as they have been all night on every long pass.
Jack Ham back there, along with 27, Glenn Edwards. Rick Ingles punting for the All-Stars. Whitford Gaines deep. Flag goes down. And catch is made at the 50-yard line, but again, a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Theo Bell took that ball at midfield. The All-Stars have been at illegal men downfield twice, but this time the call goes against the Steelers. An offside call against the Steelers.
You've got to figure that Engel's going to hit that kick a little better than that, so I think they'll take the penalty.
Referee is Carl Lepore. Umpire, John Keck. Head linesman, Dave Hawk. Line judge, Ralph Vandenberg. Back judge, Bob Rice. Field judge, Charlie Musser. It'll remain 4th down.
Offside, Pittsburgh.
Offside call against Pittsburgh. So Ingles will get another shot into that gale that Bud Wilkinson was telling you about a moment ago. Kicking right into it. Whitford Gaines deep, 36. Theo Bell is back there, number 83. Oh, and it's over the head of Gaines, out of the end zone. Safety. Safety.
Score 9-0, that doesn't kill you, but it doesn't help you any either.
Ray Penny was the center, number 59.
It's made every snap good up until that one. I just don't know what happened. Maybe the wet ball got out of his hand or something, but when he let it go, the wind picked it up and it wheeled through the end zone with ease.
Hey, Wilt Chamberlain couldn't have handled that one. It was way over his head, in and out of the end zone. Safety. 11-0 now. The Steelers leading the College All-Stars. All-Stars will put the ball in play from their own 20. They can kick the ball either by punt or they can have it held and they can kick from placement. They cannot use a kicking tee.
The coverage normally is much, much better on a punt because the ball's up in the air so much longer. It's higher, but the way that wind is blowing, Frank, I don't know.
Well, Chris Barr is coming in.
You figure he's going to get a little more on it than Inglewood.
Well, he's a soccer player, an All-American soccer player, by the way. Number 2 round draft pick from Cincinnati. He can really get the foot into it. He kicked 3 55-yarders last year for Penn State. So maybe they just decided, I agree with you, Bud, you can get better coverage on the punt, but he can get that big foot into it. And he hangs it up there almost like a punt. And Delaplane, Jack Delaplane has the ball, number 35, and look at him go. And he's taken down, finally. Jack Delaplane taken down there by Mario Clark. So a safety, a good return by the Steelers, and they're set up once again. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Steelers. They'll be at the College All-Stars 27-yard line. And they come back with their big guns. Terry Bradshaw is in there with Rocky Flyer. Number 20, Franco Harris. Number 32, Swan. Number 88, wide receiver. Lewis, 43, the other wide receiver. Franco gets the call over the left side. Runs into big number 77, Ed Simonini. A flag is down. First half, very good ball game in terms of mistakes and penalties. And we will run into a few, and we get an indication out there from one of the All-Stars that the Steelers are going to be nailed with holding. Kevin McLean was indicating over to Ara Parseghi what the call was, and now we will pick up the call.
Only 10 yards, so college people are just looking at that 15.
Well, down inside the 30, 10 is the 10 you want to take.
You betcha.
Roy Girella has already kicked 3 field goals. They've had 3 field goals and a safety.
I think they...
Holding, number 20, offense, first down.
Well, Rocky Blyer was holding for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They picked up the holding behind the line of scrimmage, so they got a little more than 10 yards. Holding penalty being marked off from the spot of the foul.
Ball at the 37-yard line. First down and 20. Really nailed by Mr. Leroy Selman on his way to the Tampa Buccaneers and John McKay. Number 93, Leroy Selman.
Unusual to have a defensive lineman picked as the number 1 draft choice in college football, but
he's
it
unusual.
Indicates again how important defense is. If the only way you get the ball is to stop him to receive kickoffs, and you start building the team with a defense, and that's what John McKay is going to do around Leroy Selman.
Rocky Blyer suffered for about a yard. Took him down to 19. Bradshaw lots of time. Lynn Swan at the 22-yard line, short of the first down. And this little man is something very special. Lynn Swan, 11 touchdown receptions last year, and he catches the ball in the crowd. He can catch it deep. If you saw the Super Bowl, he was the one that broke the back of the Cowboys.
A little curl pattern, but he's got so much speed and so much of a threat deep. You can see him turn his back. He's hit, but he just kind of rolls with the punch as Thomas puts it to him. Great player.
And a great personality, too. Lynn Swan.
Also an excellent drummer. He can really play him.
He's going to be a fine sports announcer. He'd like to be that. He worked with him in the Coach's All-American game. Fine young man. Third down now and 5. Ball at the 22. Harrison the draw. Big hole. Forget it. Harris moving his 230 pounds like a lightweight. Good call by Bradshaw. All-Stars expecting pass, but this is what happened.
Harris does a great job of making this break to the outside. Little holding right there, I believe. Lots of hands up by number 87. Harris, though, just out-sprints everybody to the corner, and he just barely gets it in.
Franco Harris went over the 1,000-yard mark 3 out of his 4 years. Very tough man to bring down in the interior line, and when he gets open, he can still run. Roy Girella hits on the conversion. Steelers move out in front of the All-Stars 18-0. We have 10:34 remaining in the third quarter. We'll be back in a moment.
How long has it been since you've seen a pirate movie that has red-blooded heroes, high
high-spirited adventure, spine-tingling thrills, and so much fun. How long has it been since you've enjoyed a swashbuckler? Robert Shaw, James Earl Jones, Peter Boyle, Jean-Pierre Bugeaud, Beau Bridges, Jeffrey Holder. Swashbuckler, rated PG. Starts Friday, July 30th at theaters everywhere.
GE presents The Flip.
1, 2, 3, 4, flip the flash and shoot. 4 more. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's fast and fun and featherweight.
General Electric Flip Flash. GE Flip Flash is designed for pocket cameras like Kodak Trim Light or Tele Instamatic. Flip Flash, 8 great pictures with just a flip of the wrist.
1, 2, 3, 4. Flip the flash and shoot. 4 more.
GE Flip Flash, now for the new Kodak instant cameras.
10:34 remaining in the third quarter from Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. Frank Gifford along with Bud Wilkinson. Lee Grosskopf is on our sideline. Franco Harris just ripped the college All-Stars for a touchdown to put the Steelers out in front, 18-0. Tie that up with 3 Roy Gerela field goals. That's the story thus far. The All-Stars unable to move against a Steeler defense that is playing like they're in mid-season form. We'll look at this return from the end zone. The ball, however, blows off the tee. Get an idea from this end zone shot. If we look at Archie Griffin, number 45, he's back there as Joe Washington, just how lonesome it can be as a safety man.
They're also standing 65 yards away from the ball, which gives you some idea how strong that wind is blowing, and I would guess Gerela's going to put it in there very, very deep.
Mel Blunt now has moved in to hold the ball for Gerela, so we will not have it blowing off the tee once again. It'll be Joe Washington at the 1-yard line. And Washington smothered by a host of Steelers at the 18-yard line. So once again, the All-Stars start in trouble. And that has just about been the story. They have not been able to exercise any sort of chancy offense because they have been starting in trouble every time they get the football.
A little bit snake bit, too. They could have had the wind at their back here in the third quarter, being behind 9-0 when the quarter started. The wind has been changing all night and suddenly really is blowing from the left to the right of your screen.
Jeff Blunt is the quarterback, and he does not even have a chance to get the handoff. Steve Furness barrels in there from defensive left tackle. Furness going now at the spot where ordinarily we'd see Joe Green. But again, Joe Green has that pinched nerve. So we have Furness, L.C. Greenwood, Ernie Holmes, and Dwight White. That's the front 4. Lambert remains the middle linebacker. Andy Russell and Jack Ham are the outside linebackers for the Steelers. Loss of 5, second down and 15. The ball at the 12. Blunt firing over the middle, complete to Dave Logan. Getting back just about to the original line of scrimmage. Dave Logan from the University of Colorado going to Cleveland.
Let's take a look at Logan. Just a straight-up crossing pattern. Blunt had very good protection this time. Logan slows down when he finds himself in the open spot on the crossing pattern. He catches the ball very easily, but then they kind of close the gate on him. Very, very difficult to make anything after you've caught the ball the way the defensive secondary and the linebackers of the Steelers react the moment the ball is in the air.
And Logan, quite an athlete. He also lettered in basketball at Colorado. On the third down and 7, and down goes Blunt. Who is it? Steve Furness. Wow, a 5th-round draft pick in 72, and he's been invaluable to these Steelers over the past year when Joe Green has been unable to go because of that pinched nerve.
On that rollout pass that the All-Stars have tried to run twice, the guard is pulling, as you can see, steps up, and as the guard pulls out, Furness just comes right straight through the hole vacated by that guard, and it's just clear sailing for him. Home free and tough on Blunt.
Rick Ingalls has to face that strong wind again. Gets away, a high punt. Almost blows back into his face. This is Theo Bell of Bakersfield, California. Out of the University of Arizona, he gets back to the 35-yard line. So we'll be returning to Chicago in just a moment, where the Steelers lead the All-Stars 18-0.
Oh, hi there, little fellas.
What you doing?
Oh, I'm checking my new Johnson CB. You know, they're the folks that make my official radio. Oh, and now this here's your mic.
Does it have automatic speech compression, a noise blanker,
This here's your built-in
dual
mic.
crystal filtering, automatic gain control?
And this here's the dial. Of course, when you fellas are older, you'll understand all this technical stuff.
Get yourself the professional CB. Johnson, the great American adventure.
Then follow.
Sure, Toyota's a beauty, all right. But how do I know it can really take it?
You asked for it. A demonstration of Toyota toughness. Toyota trucks are built tough with a rugged steel frame to handle stress, a tough steel bed to handle up to 1,100-pound payload, and a 5-speed overdrive transmission that helps save wear and tear on the biggest displacement engine in its class. If you can find a better-built truck than Toyota, buy it. Quality.
Ask for it, you got it, Toyota.
Some happy Chicagoans. It must be from Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh dominating the All-Stars. They lead 18-0. They have a 1st and 10. They're at the All-Stars 35-yard line. Bradshaw going all the way. Inside trap goes to Flyer. Flyer moves inside the 30-yard line. They'll mark it at the 28-yard line. Hit there by Ed Simonetti, the middle linebacker. Don't forget, Olympic coverage from Montreal again tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time until 2 o'clock when we pick up the Hall of Fame game from Canton, Ohio, Detroit, and Denver. And then again from Montreal 5 to 7. And then again tomorrow evening 8 to 11. The excitement of the 21st Olympics from Montreal. 2nd down and 4. Flyer. Flyer gets to the line of scrimmage, 1.5 yards maybe, and flags are all over the field. Greg Buttle came up there from Penn State, number 67, to make the stop. He will be heading for the New York Jets as their number 3 pick. Preliminary call is flipping. And down on the field is Aaron Kyle. He's being attended to. He's from the University of Wyoming. He's the number 1 draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys obviously drafting for their secondary. We will not speculate on what the injury might be.
Some kind of a leg injury, Frank.
Flipping against Pittsburgh.
Personal foul. Clipping. 87. 2nd down.
Larry Brown, the tight end, detected clipping for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll be 2nd down and 18. But more important at the moment. Aaron Kyle down on the field. Now he's being assisted to his feet. And we'll try and get a word from Lee Groscup as to the severity of that injury, although I'm sure it would be hard to tell at this moment. We certainly hope he is in good condition. Fine young athlete with a very promising professional career ahead of him with the Dallas Cowboys. Joe Green.
I don't know if you want to run at him or not.
Strike a little terror into the hearts of all quarterbacks. That's the All-Stars, 44-yard line. Bradshaw. And up the middle he goes. And down he goes and hit hard. Filial and Simonetti of the All-Stars popped Terry Bradshaw. And Bradshaw was just getting rid of it. 4th down coming up. And we'll see whether we get Jarrella with that big win behind him, or will we get the punter? And we get Bobby Walden. But right now, let's go down to Lee Groscup.
Aaron Kyle, who has severe leg cramps in both legs. They're trying to stretch his calf muscles. Here he is, number 22, Aaron Kyle. And we'll give a further report. Frank?
That's really glad to hear that, Lee. I thought it was perhaps a knee. Leg cramps, Aaron Kyle. Walden going to the sidelines once again. And off the side of his foot. And Walden puts it out of bounds just about the 17, 18-yard line. So the All-Stars will take over once again. 7:14 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
We've got a great season of college football coming up, beginning on Thursday, September 9th. Opening game, UCLA against Arizona State. And if Arizona State can win that one, many people think they can go all the way to an undefeated season. On the next Saturday, September 11th, just 2 days later, it's a regional. Pittsburgh at Notre Dame, Tulsa at Oklahoma State, South Carolina and Georgia Tech, Houston at Baylor. And the following Saturday, another regional headlined by Ohio State at Penn State.
First and 10 for the All-Stars. A little bit of a mix-up between Blunt, the quarterback, and Galbraith, the setback. And you don't mix up with the Pittsburgh Steelers because you lose yardage, and that's just exactly what happened. John Banaszak in there at defensive end, replacing L.C. Greenwood, number 76, made the stop.
I think this really has been a great surprise, Frank, to Vera Parsegan, because he felt his offensive line of Conker, Slater, Brock, Glassick, and Jones would be able to handle the Pittsburgh defenders quite well, and so far they just have not.
Second and 11 from the All-Stars 17. Washington with the ball. Washington taken out of bounds by Mel Blunt. Washington gets a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Well, what kind of lateral pursuit drills Chuck Noll gives the Pittsburgh defenders, but I don't think I've ever seen a football team that hits, defends their territory, and then keeps the pattern on the field as they move to the outside. They're just absolutely marvelous.
They have a great deal of pride in that unit, and indeed they should, because they have played superbly together over the past few years. 2 Super Bowls in a row. They beat Minnesota year before last. Last year it was Dallas, and they really, their team is defense. 3rd and 8. Blunt dumps it off to Mike Pruitt. He does not hold on. 4th down. The All-Stars must kick.
That's the most open they've had any receiver all night. I think that if Blunt had been able to drop this one in there, Pruitt could have picked up the 1st down. There's pretty good rush being put on by Pittsburgh. There's the throw, and you can see how wide open he is. The ball is a little bit high, but he was a little off balance also. Just couldn't quite control it. There's nobody around him. Had he made the catch, he could have picked up the 1st down.
52,895 people are here enjoying this game tonight, the 43rd annual All-Star game, as Rick Ingalls drops the kick. He's from Tulsa. He's going to Jack Patera and the Seattle Seahawks. And he won't stay there very long, kicking it like that. Flag goes down. Down the sideline. Gaines made the return. But there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. In defense of Rick Ingalls, he's been kicking against the wind all night. Every time they change possessions, or they change at the quarter, the wind seems to change with him. But he's had a long night with the foot.
Yeah, the Steelers have had a great night with field position. They've had the ball twice in this half, once on the Stars' 28th, and this time they get it on the 30. It's that kind of field position they had the whole first half, which kept the All-Star bottled up for so long.
3rd time tonight, the All-Stars have not been able to cope with that rule of the pros. You can only send the 2 men down till the ball is punted. And they had ineligible men downfield, declined by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a 1st and 10, All-Stars 30-yard line. And the call is Tommy Riemann. Tommy Riemann is a rookie out of Missouri.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a little rain, Frank.
Riemann, the Steelers' 9th round draft pick, and there's a whole bunch of scurrying going around here because the clouds have begun to open up again. He was a 9th round draft pick, Riemann was, in 74, but he went into the WFL where he led the league in rushing. He had 1,576 yards. Right now he's in the lineup with Terry Bradshaw. 2nd down now and 8. Bradshaw with the draw fake. Riemann gets the call of the screen. Tippy towing down the sideline. Riemann all the way down inside the 5. Steve Niehaus there to make the stop for the All-Stars.
You were talking earlier, Frank, about how long it takes to time a screen pass perfectly, and that's the advantage the Steelers have always in the All-Star game, or the pro champions have. They've been together a long, long time. As that pass was completed by Bradshaw, you could see the 3 linemen out in front of the ball carrier. Beautiful execution. Let's take a look at it again. And as the ball is dropped off, look at the timing of the 3 linemen leading the ball carrier down the field. And It's a very beautiful, beautiful play.
First and goal for the Steelers. Tommy Raymond taking the screen. Ball at the 2-yard line. Duquois back in there now. He's in with Rocky Blyer. And Raymond over the right side gets the touchdown. And lays a little spike on it for us. And the Steelers extend their lead.
Raymond gets very good blocking on the play. Also, he's got good balance. He's got good determination, and he takes it into the end zone for the touchdown. Let's take a look at it again. Fine lead blocks, and I just want to get in that end zone, and Raymond does.
Roy Gerela for the conversion. Would you believe? No good. So the Steelers lead the College All-Stars 24-0. We'll be returning to Chicago in just a moment.
Dad, we're late.
I won't get dressed without my right guard. I will not get dressed without my right guard.
Why not?
Because Right Guard Double Protection protects us so well, it also helps protect our clothes from odor, wetness, and stains. Protects us, protects our clothes.
I will not get dressed without my right guard.
Get dressed, David.
Thank you.
Right Guard Double Protection Antiperspirant. Spray and roll on. Don't get dressed without it.
There is an evil that lurks at the end of the day. That evil is the shadow. It creeps up and makes your face rough and ugly. But the Gillette Track 2 fights the shadow. Its twin blade shave lasts long. The first blade stretches the whisker out so the second blade can shave it again. Closer. And a closer shave means a longer lasting shave. The Gillette Track 2 shave with regular or adjustable cartridges can outlast the shadow.
Roy Gerela puts the foot to it, and this time he really got into it, and Joe Washington watched it go over his head into the back of the end zone. So the All-Stars will take over, 1st and 10, trailing 24-0 from their own 20.
And you can see the crowd, some of them still hanging in there, some of them are leaving with this thunderstorm coming up. The umbrellas are up. Loyal fans stay with it. Many people think that maybe that lightning flashing around is going to get them off the golf course.
Got my attention. There's some noise up in the heavens. Jeff Blunt remains as quarterback. All-Stars having their problem on exchanges.
I tell you, when you're looking at Furness in there and Ernie Holmes, some of those other people that not quite like the face in college, and the All-Star centers are finding that out, Rock and Penny.
Loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Blunt in there with Joe Washington, 24. Tony Galbraith, number 30. Those are the setbacks. And pass intended there for Galbraith. He comes up with it, and he was popped there really hard by Lauren Taves. Marv Kellum, in a middle linebacker, came up with the football.
He said he intercepted it, but the officials, I don't think, are going to agree with him.
They're not buying that. Blunt now 6-12 for 61 yards. Terry Hanratty warming up at the sidelines. He hasn't seen a whole lot of action for rather obvious reasons. He's a good quarterback, but Terry Bradshaw really has started to come into his own. Yeah, maybe you can hear the thunder, the lightning flashing all over Soldier Field. 3rd down and 12. Mike Pruitt gets the call, bangs up the middle. And the All-Stars will have to punt once again to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And it looks like the All-Stars can't get a break when they get the win in the 4th quarter. It's going to be raining again real hard. And their offense is having trouble enough getting on track.
Kirk Engels dropping back. Tulsa University kicking to Winford Gaines, 36, Theo Bell, number 83. Only kicking into the wind, but now into the rain. This time he gets a good foot to it. And Theo Bell drops the ball, but was able to get back for the recovery. Let's go down now to Lee Gross Cup.
One player who has not appeared tonight is number 42, Chuck Muncy, who was the first offensive player chosen in the professional draft. I asked Chuck why he hasn't appeared yet. He said he had no idea. He said he thought maybe Era had forgotten that he was here. You might remember that there was another back who did not play in this game who went on to have some good years. That was a fellow by the name of Jim Brown. Yep.
Thank you, Lee.
Muncy also happened to miss the meetings today, which I think rather upset the coach. If it's game day and you don't make it to the meeting, you got to wonder whether the boy's interested in playing.
Jerry Hanratty has come into the lineup, and it is pouring here in Chicago. Hanratty on his very first play, firing out to Tommy Riemann, and a flash of lightning, and believe me, it is coming down.
Lee Trevino at the Western Open a year ago here in Chicago, and lightning caught him a little bit, and some of the fans, I think, remember about that.
Many of the fans have pulled out, and we frankly don't blame them. Lightning cracking all around Soldier Field here in Chicago. Franco Harris obviously a little visible on the sidelines. Setbacks now are Fuqua, 33, Rocky Flyer, number 20. And now Gaines is in there with Tommy Riemann. This is Riemann. Riemann over midfield to the 47-yard line. Oh, boy, here it comes.
Oh, boy is right.
Say you can count how far away it is by the number of seconds it takes to get here.
I don't know whether I'd want to stay under an umbrella because unless you've got a plastic shaft on it, you might be in deep trouble.
Our producer and director, Chet Forty, returning, of course, to Montreal tonight. I'll be going to Canton, Ohio in the morning. I prefer my act.
I think you can climb right through the storm, Chet.
Third down and 4. Terry Hanratty, the quarterback. And he dribbles one off. Picked off. Picked off there by number 35, Schaefer Suggs. Schaefer Suggs from Ball State. The Jets' second-round draft pick picks off Hanratty.
Hanratty rolling to the outside. He looks like he can make it. He stops. And then he tries to throw the ball, but his arm is hit, and Suggs is right there to make the interception. And as hard as it's raining, Suggs almost popped it down the field, and it's... All-Stars have got great field position, but, boy, they got tough weather to play in.
That was the Giants' number 1 pick that pressured Hanratty, and then also came back to make a block for Suggs. First and 10, a flag is down.
I don't think I've ever seen it rain this hard at a football game, Frank.
I don't believe I've ever seen it rain this hard. We are getting a lot of water in our booth.
We played Northwestern here one year and had these kind of thunderstorms. Ara Parsegan was coaching Northwestern at that time. Chicago, I guess, can really turn on the rain.
5-yard penalty offside against the Steelers.
Looks like a snowstorm. Michigan against Ohio State.
Archie Griffin, the Heisman Award winner, around the right side, upended by somebody. I really cannot tell you exactly who got in there. They say you never stop a football game, but this is impossible. There's no way we can read the yard markers.
There's no way you can read anything. It really does. Looks more like a snowstorm than it does a rainstorm.
I'll tell you, if our technicians can hold it together in this, they get our nod. Everything coming unglued now in the booth.
This calls for a little poise on the field.
Second down and 5. Jeff Blunt holds on to the football. It'll be third down now and 7. Jeff Blunt, I believe, was the ball carrier.
Yeah, we got some young men out on the field, too.
I think they're having a carnival down at the one end of the field. Youngsters on the field, sliding. 3rd down and 6.
We may have the driest spot in town, but believe me, it's not too dry up here.
Did Jim McKay really start this way?
I think so, yeah.
And Howard must have known something.
You can't see down on the field.
You literally cannot see on the field. I have never seen anything quite like it.
The only time I have is when I was a kid in Minnesota and we used to play in a snowstorm, Frank, and that's just about what it looks like, even though this time it's straight up rain.
There's literally hundreds of people out on the field now, sliding around. They're enjoying what's happening.
It's going to be awfully hard to get control again and get them all off the field because it's very hard to identify them. Got the Steelers going to the sideline.
And I would suspect that the Steelers are, oh, wow, here comes one, maybe. I think you'll probably be able to hear this one.
I think we better get a little delay in the game, even though by football rules you're not supposed to.
That took 3 seconds. Speed of sound, what, 720? That was 1,400 feet away.
We got both teams wisely going to the dressing rooms. We're not going to lose anybody to the lightning.
An unbelievable thunderstorm. The Steelers out in front of the All-Stars, 24-0. 1:22 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And you can hear the crash and roar of the thunder.
I have no idea what we're going to do. We'll stay with you and try and let you know what's happening. And what we are looking at is...
I tell you, I'm from Oklahoma, Frank, and this could look like tornado, believe me. You can see those things flying by.
As wild as it looks on your monitor, believe me, it's even much more wild than that. Both teams now have gone in. The officials have left the field. Youngsters, young and old, sliding around on the synthetic cars. That's the story. 1:22 left in the 3rd quarter. Seems to be letting up somewhat. Now, how in the world, though, good law and order restored here? I have no idea.
All the years I coached, Frank, I only remember one game that was delayed by rain. We were scheduled to play Boston College one night on a Friday night, and it rained like this, and we decided to just put the game back one day, and we played it on a Saturday night. But that's the only time I've heard of a game being delayed by rain when it's football.
The PA announcement just came through. The game has not been called off. It obviously has been postponed because both teams have gone to the locker room. That's the scene. The field entirely covered now with young people and old people, really, who were just so wet they just didn't care.
Have the chain gang going into the dressing room, and I don't know whether that means that somebody has said maybe we've had enough and we won't start play again, or whether they just are so through and they're worried about the lightning.
It's an unbelievable downpour here in Chicago. Recap the scoring. Jarrella, 3 field goals. Then there was a safety. With the ball being snapped over the punter's head for the All-Stars. Harris went in. On a draw play. Riemann scores 2 yards out. That's the scoring, 24-0. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the champions of the National Football League, with the Super Bowl win over Dallas last January. And the All-Stars.
Goalposts are down at one end of the field, Frank. The young men that have moved out of the field have taken the south goalpost down. So that's going to make it a little tough if we do resume play. And I expect some of them will maybe move up to the other end of the field.
That's the goalpost that's gone. One of the bars being carried off the field by a group of young people. One really kind of has to wonder how far we're going to go. And I don't know how in the world they'll get this game resumed.
Well, they've lost most of the crowd, and about the only crowd remaining is the crowd you see out on the field. If you look at the top of your screen, the stands are empty.
Commissioner Pete Rozelle is with us, as is the head of the Chicago Tribune Charities. They are here in the boxes next to us. I don't know what decision they might make.
We have
came that the game had not been called off.
Very strong squadron of policemen protecting the north goalpost, though. I think we'll be able to keep that goalpost from being torn down.
Meanwhile, they're really doing a number on the other one. You can forget that one for potential field goals. There goes part of it.
That means all field goals will be kicked into the wind should we resume play.
We want to alert our stations down the line that we will be joining you very shortly, and we have understood that the game has been called. Now, we have not had a definite word that it has been called, but that is our understanding at the moment. A tremendous downpour, an incredible amount of lightning. We have not been hit in the immediate area, but there have been several inches of water falling. A area around the football field has maybe 1.5 feet or 2 feet of water. And we'll just once again tell you that the final score, the Steelers over the All-Stars, 24-0. This is Frank Gifford along with Bud Wilkinson and Lee Grosskopf saying so long from the Wild Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. The College All-Star football game has been brought to you by Gillette, makers of good news, the all-new one-piece twin-blade disposable razor. By Toyota, you asked for it, the official car of the Superstars. You got it, Toyota. Also brought to you by Sears Tire and Auto Centers, home of the Die-Hard battery. And Sears Road Handler steel-belted radial tire. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United featuring Royal Hawaiian service on more wide-body 747s to Hawaii than any other airline. The proceeding, a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. The other goalpost comes down. Good night.